The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets are 3-9, but ESPN has found 10 moral victories, 10 things that have gone the Jets' way. We'll break that down and much more. Dylan Tereman is going to be joining us. It's the Jake Asman Show, live on a Thursday. Let's hit it and get it started.
Guys, we always say this, and it's always going to be pretty. I got one game ball.
Let's keep it going next week.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go here on a Thursday before we bring on Dylan Tereman. Jets Dolphins on Sunday. If any Asmaniac has extra tickets they're looking to give away to your fellow listeners, please reach out to me, asmanjake@gmail.com. My email is in the description to every YouTube show. We have donated a bunch of tickets over the last couple of weeks, so should anyone have tickets available they're not using in honor of the holiday season, I'd be happy to distribute them to a bunch of listeners who have expressed interest in going to the game, taking a family member, taking a kid who's never been. So if you have any extra tickets and want to do something nice for your fellow Asmaniac, certainly please reach out. Hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And joining us right now is the host of the Dylan Tereman Experience. It's our guy, DT, who joins us in his weekly Thursday spot. Dylan, how are we feeling? The New York Jets have won 3 of their last 5 games.
What a crazy time, right? Obviously, we've come so far from the 0-7 start. Not saying that, we're all of a sudden going to be some perennial playoff team or anything like that, but it is nice to at least examine the water in the glass. We're almost to the half full portion of the season if we can, get a couple more wins, but we have water in the glass. We have some tangible evidence that perhaps this team isn't, the worst thing in the world and is going to suck for 5 years.
That would certainly be nice if they don't suck for 5 years. How about if they don't suck going into next year and then we get a quarterback and we're good next year? But we'll talk about that, I'm sure, throughout the show today. We have an interesting story that Rich Cimini put together over at ESPN.com. The headline of the story is, despite being 3-9, here are 10 small victories for the Jets. And then you texted me, oh, so a whole show about moral victories? And I said, whoa. Well, kind of. So I thought it'd be fun to go through what Rich wrote, and then you and I can kind of react and share our own thoughts, whether or not this is accurate or not, and give our own perspectives on this season with, of course, 5 games to go and a lot of Jet fans wanting losses, some Jet fans rooting for wins. It's been a crazy ride, as you said, but let's break down the story and we'll go from there. We'll start with item number 1 here. And the first thing that Rich noted is, I'll try and zoom in for those of you watching, of course, on whatever device you're on. The first quote unquote small victory for the Jets is that the Jets are winning games without some of their best players. Rich noted they haven't had Garrett Wilson for any of their wins. They traded cornerback Sauce Gardner and defensive tackle Quinnen Williams. They also went out there and they were able to win that Bengals game without Sauce Gardner, as Rich notes. And Garrett Wilson, I guess he did play in the Browns game, by the way, just to correct Rich slightly. He got hurt in that game, but there was barely no offense in that game besides the special teams, if you count that as offense, and then the Breece Hall screen. But interesting point from Rich. They are winning games here post-trade deadline where they jettisoned Sauce and Q, Michael Carter as well. And obviously Garrett's been hurt. So DT, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't want to say that the Jets got better by trading their 2 most talented players on their defensive side of the ball by any means, but it feels like there is a different mentality with this defense. And that's not necessarily to say that they're all correlated moves, but it is telling that you can get rid of a Sauce Gardner and a Quinnen Williams and your defense actually performs better, right? You have Jawan Briggs and AZ Thomas stepping up for those players respectively. So it is nice that you can have something to fall back on, like, hey, when these guys weren't on the team any longer, things started to shift. Now, could they have shifted with these guys on the team? Of course. And nobody's surprised that Quinnen Williams is doing what he's doing in Dallas. Unfortunately, Sauce is hurt. But it just goes to show that there is actually like true buy-in from the players on what their philosophy is. And to me, the cornerback room is one of my, I guess, small moral victories on a personal side, because I thought it was the best room coming into the season in terms of the positions on the team. And they broke it down completely and found new guys that fit what they want to do anyway. And it's actually working with Jarvis Brownlee, A.Z. Thomas, and Brandon Stevens. So I have to, commend them for what they're doing with the cornerback room. And then Jawan Briggs up front on the D line alongside Harrison Phillips. He's the second best defensive tackle in a lot of, nerd metrics behind only Quinnen Williams. It's Jawan Briggs. So it's really nice to see these young guys stepping up for the talent that we did leave. Because you and I a couple weeks ago said, let's not offload talent at the deadline and then fall back on that as an excuse of like, we didn't have the talent to win games down the stretch. No, well, we got rid of the talent and now we're winning games. And I'm really happy that is, the first thing that Rich noted, because it is so important. That we thought it was a lost season, right? I remember coming on live when they traded Quinnen Williams, and we were like, well, we're probably looking at 2-15 at the very best. And they've shown us that they are right and we are wrong, which we want to be in that situation.
Well said. Small victory, moral victory, however you want to word it, Jet fans. And ESPN's article on this is point 2. They hang around till the end. The Jets have been involved in 7 straight games that were within 1 score in the fourth quarter. In truth, they've been blown out only twice: Buffalo Bills and Dallas Cowboys. In the NFL, a narrow defeat falls into the so close yet so far category, because most games are decided by 1 score, but at least they're not getting overwhelmed. And I do think there is something to this. Now, I believe this Jets team has far more talent than the Robert Saleh year 1 team, DT. But like I go back to, the end of that first year for Saleh, and there were like a couple of like moments where they hung around, I guess, with, good football teams and what have you. But I could remember them blown out by the Eagles. They got blown out by the Saints that year. They got destroyed by Buffalo the last game of the regular season. Like, there were a lot of blowouts late, at least with this first year coaching staff. And again, there is more talent on this team than rookie year Zach Wilson in that roster, but they have been competitive in basically every game since that Dallas debacle. They should have more wins than the just 3 they have on the year, but they're not quitting on their coach. They are playing hard for Glenn, no matter what the talent disparity might be given their opponent.
Yeah, people like, the hardcore Jet fans that watch, every single game in and out. We understand that, early on in the season, it didn't look as competitive as some of the final scores said it, right? Even in Tampa Bay, which we were at in person, you and I, it didn't feel like a 29-22 loss. It felt like a 29-12 loss. And it was like a really miracle play. So there are those games that when you just look at the season schedule at the end of the year, okay, you have some 1-score losses in your first 5 games. Yes, you got blown out by Buffalo and Dallas, but they were relatively uncompetitive in those games outside of like Pittsburgh until they got up to maybe even the Miami game in week 4. They were uncompetitive for the most part after the fumble. So it's a good sign that they are turning it around, and the box scores do show close games down the stretch, but the people like you and I and the hardcore fans, we watch, and these games don't look the same as early September, right?
Definitely.
Even the most pessimistic people, like, they can notice a change, right? Even we got Black Gypsy to admit some nice things about Steve Wilks. Like, that is such a win from where he was with Steve Wilks to now. So like, you can see tangible evidence of improvement, and that's all you really care about, because at the end of the season, you're just going to look at that top line record of, let's hope 5-12, maybe. So that's what we're going to look at, not the in-depth of every single game. And now we take that into next year. So although I will say this, we're 3-9 right now entering a game against Miami. Jake, we were 3-9 last year entering a game against Miami. So it's like crazy how these worlds are just so linked, but like so different at the same time.
I went and looked it up as you were talking there to Saleh's first year. And again, it's not an exact comp, because this roster, I think anyone with a brain will tell you, is far more talented than the Saleh-led team that won 4 games that year. But they got blown out a lot, man. Their second ever game, 25-6. Wilson was terrible in the home opener that year. They lost 26-0 in Denver. That was in week 3. Week 5 in London, they lost 27-20. After the bye week, remember they got embarrassed by the Patriots 54-13. That was in week 7. They had 3 straight defeats to the Colts, 45-30. Mike White got hurt in that game. That was on Thursday night. They really got blown out, and that was garbage time. They got destroyed by the Bills, 45-17. They lost to Miami, 24-17. They got killed back-to-back weeks by the Eagles, 33-18, 30-9 the following week to the Saints.
I was at that game.
Oh, yeah. So
we didn't pass midfield until 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
So, like, again, that year, there was less talent. They were getting killed regularly. This year, I mean, we'll see how the last 5 games end up, but they've been pretty much in all these games since the Dallas debacle. So I will choose to accentuate the positive with that stat. All right, item number 3 here on ESPN's list. And if you're watching live right now and you have a super chat, it will cut the line if you got a question for Dylan and I, or you want to respond to anything we're discussing here. Point 3 is coming from behind isn't a foreign concept. Quote, they've trailed in all 3 wins, with 2 of them requiring dramatic comebacks in the fourth quarter. Glenn loved how they gutted out the 27-24 win against Atlanta, scoring 10 points in the final 2 minutes on Sunday. He keeps using the word grit to describe their mindset. That, to me, is fair. There definitely was some grittiness to that win over the Atlanta Falcons. What say you, DT?
Yeah, I certainly agree. There was some grit. You're not giving up on the game even when you get down a couple scores, because we've seen, that pack it up and let's go home mentality very early on from some of the teams in the past, even like the Saleh regime guys. Like, there was that ounce of like, okay, we can't get up off the mat. Now the Jets are proving that even if they get punched in the mouth and they fall down, like, they're not down for the 10 count, they're going to get back up. So it is nice to see. The one thing about the Falcons game specifically, they were flirting with bad history, and the Jets love to do the bad history stats, right? They showed on the broadcast 10 straight games the Jets scored, not straight games, but 10 straight games where the Jets scored first, they lost. And they scored first against Atlanta. So immediately you put it in the back of your brain as a Jets fan. You're like, there's a good chance this team does not come away with this win, despite scoring first after a very, very big special teams play by Quantez, recovering the fumble at the 2. So I am happy that they got the win. I used the words eked out the win because they did. And watching that field goal go in by Nick Folk, it was certainly an eke of a kick because you didn't know if it was going to make it or not. But that's what they need to do at this point. And I've said it before, you can't expect to beat the good teams until you beat the teams that are in your tier, right? And we don't think, the Patriots are in our tier, the Bills are in our tier, even the Cowboys now playing a lot better of late are in our tier, but the Falcons are in our tier. And this week against the Dolphins, they're in our tier, only at 5-7. And they started 2-7, which is, we were 1-7, and their second win was against us. So we need to beat teams in this tier first before we can go and beat the New Englands of the world. Can it still happen? Sure. But like, the expectation should be, let's win the games. Like, even the Jaguars and the Saints coming up, like, those are games that I think we can compete and win with because they're more in our tier.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan Tereman is our guest. We will get to item number 4 in the 10 bright spots for the Jets, despite the record being 3-9. But I want to remind people that on Sunday, the New York Jets will be rocking the rivalry jerseys. You see the end zones there? That's what it's going to look like. So in honor of that, for the second show today, let's give away a Jets rivalry jersey. You pick the player. You want Garrett Wilson. You want Breece Hall, Quincy Williams, Jamie and Sherwood, Jermaine Johnson. You pick the player of the options that I have available, and we will send you the jersey. But you got to enter the Asmaniac raffle by gifting your fellow Asmaniac a membership or sending in a super chat that is $5 or higher. That's right. $5 super chat will get you 1 entry. $10 super chat will get you 2. We'll open that up for people that are still locked into a football team that is 3-9 right now. And again, if you don't win, that's okay, because you're still entered to win the weekly raffle prizes, which feature this week a signed Namath helmet, signed Nick Mangold football, and a signed helmet by Jets former All-Pro linebacker C.J. Mosley. With that, we get to item number 4. And this, to me, is my favorite thing that is written about in this story here. Item 4, they're truly dominant in one phase of the game, and that, of course, is the Jets special teams unit. First-year coordinator Chris Banjo, only 3 years removed from his playing days, is doing a masterful job. The Jets are number 3 in special teams EPA. thanks to Falk, punter, Austin McNamara, and returners Isaiah Williams and Kene Nwanu, all whom rank among the best of their respective positions. Banjo preaches buy-in, and with buy-in, you also have to stay in, and that's what we've been doing, said Quantez Stiggers, a gunner on the punt team and one of the better young gunners in the NFL. So, DT, I've been blown away with how good Chris Banjo is. Again, this guy retired after the 2022 season. He was just in the league, and now he's already a coordinator, and a coordinator of one of the league's best units in year one. He's been super impressive.
Yeah, this is truly remarkable. I guess that's the word I'll use, considering we've had the same Brant Boyer special teams coordinator for however long now, multiple coaching staffs, and now we switch it up. We go younger with a guy who is only 35 years old, just a couple years removed from the league, played under a lot of smart people, right? And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention what Mike Westhoff did just in the little bit of time that he spent with this team as well. He came in and they cut whoever their kicker was, I forget his name, and they signed Nick Folk. So like he immediately made that change. And I would not be surprised if he gave them some of his old playbooks of like, hey, these were the plays that became illegal because of me on special teams. Let's see if we can configure these with the new rules and spring these guys for some long returns, right? So I think we should shout out Mike Westhoff in that regard as well. But so fun to watch these special teams unit guys play because all of them are young except for Nick Folk. And Nick Folk is at a position where you can continue to dominate well into your 40s. I mean, he hit a 56 that barely made it, but still, like, he's doing well, right? He played with Chris Sims. I was watching his podcast, and he's one of the players, one of like 12 players left in the league that played when Chris Sims was still in the league. So it is cool to see. But the young guys, yeah, it's so fun. McNamara just won AFC, or was it NFL or AFC Player of the Month? He won one of them for the month of November. So like he's been dominant. Kene Nwanu, obviously, when he's healthy, he is a threat, and now they're not even kicking to him. So by default, Isaiah Williams is becoming the guy. And, hand up, accountability, we were trashing that guy. And, rightfully so, he made some bonehead moves against the Miami Dolphins, too, specifically. But then it's been an immediate turnaround. And I liked what AG said about we wanted him back in Detroit. He got poached by Cincinnati, and then we kind of just sat and waited on the opportunity. And then when he was on their practice squad, the Jets had an opportunity after they cut Gibson. They went and got Isaiah Williams, and it's been ever since. And now he's overthrown even Arian Smith on the wide receiver depth chart. So there's, a two-facet thing with Isaiah Williams, but all these guys are young. And I think that's what's the coolest part. I did a video about tangible evidence on offense, and I have one recorded for the defense and special teams, and McNamara, Isaiah Williams, all these guys on special teams, including Banjo, are on the list because they have to be, because the turnaround has been, pretty remarkable considering what it was with Greg Zuerlein hitting, 47% of his kicks just 2 years ago.
Oh, that was the worst. Wasn't that just the absolute worst? Comments, questions, super chats. We're going to get to them, but I do want to shout out our first gifted membership of the show. This is from Vinny Luciano. How do I know that? I recognize the picture because YouTube changed everyone's usernames to their @ names, which confuses folks. But I want to especially shout out Vinny because he doesn't call, but he did send me this awesome tweet today. So, everyone this time of year, Dylan, they have the Spotify Wrap. YouTube is now showing you like who are the shows and channels that you spend the most time watching throughout the year. So Vinny sent me this tweet today. And he said, I don't call like some of my favorites, Neil, Gary, Beast, Chef Kevin, Bonesy, Chuck Wagon, and many others. With that said, no bigger as Maniac. He is in the top 0.1% of viewers of this show. So thank you to Vinny. And Vinny, you are in the raffle for one. I appreciate your support, my man. Thanks to everyone who keeps tagging me in their YouTube Wrapped or their YouTube highlights, man. Very, very cool to see people interact with the show year-round, including you, DT. I was your #1 watch channel, baby.
Yeah, and I got some flack from a different Vinny on Twitter about it, and then you called him a turd, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah,
of course, I loved it. Of course, I'm going to support my guy. I mean, I've only been, in the channel probably since like maybe like the beginning of Rogers era, but then I haven't been like in the chat, becoming a full as Maniac for like the last year. So I have a full calendar year of Jake Asman under my belt, and my numbers are pretty good.
let me see if I can show this real quick.
I think it was 885 videos of yours I've consumed this year, and I'm like, oh geez, this is bad.
I love that, man. I mean, look, we'll take all the support that we could get. So this was let me see if I can show this here. This was Dylan. Let me do the old switcheroo because I want to show everyone me putting this turd in a appropriate turd position here. So Dylan was nice enough to tag and share his list, right? So you can see it here on the screen. DT's let's see. Let me go zoom in a little bit. People could see it. So shout out to your YouTube favorites. Very kind to you, DT, for me to be number one. And this guy, Vincent Crest, goes, Jake Asman, seriously? To which I had time this morning. Cry some more, Vincent. You turd. Ha 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 ha.
Oh, I love it. But like, what am I supposed to do? I'm a regular on your show. Of course, I need to follow along with the content because by Thursday afternoon when I'm on the show, I need to know what happened. And I've waited 20 minutes to even say this, but we're talking about small wins, right? And that's the antithesis of Beast Breaker. He's just a big loser. So getting to talk about small wins is a great thing here. So
hey, you watch it. That's my guy. All right. That guy's a 3-time ear infection survivor. How dare you?
Yeah, do you want to talk about a turd? Ha 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 ha.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is not a turd. David T in the house. He just gifted a 5-spot of channel memberships to this wonderful community. Hit it, AG.
Who wanna fly with them jets?
Yeah, baby. David T in the Asmaniac raffle for 5. All right, we will get to the super chats coming up because there's a couple of them, but I want to get to item number 5 in our top 10 list here that, again, Cimini put together, the bright spots, the small victories, however you want to describe it. Here is another item from that list. Number 5, quote, the defense hasn't fallen off without Gardner and Williams. In some respects, it has improved. Consider these stats. Pre-trade deadline, Jets yielded 27.6 points per game and compiled a negative 40.02 EPA. For those who don't know what that means, just know it's horrific. Post-deadline, they've allowed 23.5 points per game with a negative 22.55 EPA. These are middle-of-the-pack numbers, nothing to get excited about, but things could have nosedived after trading away their 2 most accomplished defenders. Now, if they could only intercept a pass. So there's that Cimini little snark at the end there, Rich. Oh, yeah.
Did they ever force a damn turnover?
Well, the special teams did, Joe. But DT, what do you make of this? Because, again, I do think it is something that, to me, this is more of a Glenn thing than a Wilkes thing, that even after these trades here, the team's still playing hard for them. And I think they have improved ever so slightly on defense. Still not where it should be. But the defense, when they needed to get some stops late in some of these wins, they did it in Cincinnati. They did it against Cleveland. And they obviously did it late against Atlanta. And they found a way to win. So what do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I knew what the EPA, league average was. I wish Rich put that in like post deadline, like what the league average is. But obviously that's a market improvement, right? 17.5 points of EPA, expected points added. So it's still not where they want to be. But to your point, they're fighting. They're not laying down and dying. And I wish the Baltimore Ravens game, there were 2 big defensive pass interference penalties by Isaiah Oliver and Tony Adams that equaled about 53 penalty yards, and they immediately led to Ravens touchdowns. So I wish, those things would get a little bit more cleaned up, because then you're actually talking about a really impressive defense. And if you add, pieces, particularly in the middle, like linebacker and safety, and you get stronger on the edge, I feel like the pass rush is what's kind of holding back these DBs right now, because the quarterbacks are able to, have extra time to throw. The DBs have to cover longer, and it looks a little bit worse on the back end than what I think they could be at their full potential. So I'm really intrigued to see what the additions make, and then what that EPA number looks like for the first 4 games of next season, because I do think it's just going to continue to trend in a positive direction, because I do think there are enough pieces on this defense where you don't have to go spend a ton of premium capital, but you can use your free agent dollars really wisely, kind of in the same vein as the New England Patriots did last year, right? They spent a lot of money on Milton Williams, Harold Landry, Carlton Davis, their cornerbacks. Like, they spent big free agency dollars, and I think the Jets could do the same thing. Get an edge 3, get maybe a linebacker not on like a $15 million deal like Jamie and Sherwood, and then you can get another safety that you project better than Andre Cisco on a 1-year deal, maybe a 2 or 3 year deal for a younger safety that hits the market. So I think there's a lot of more room to go, but I love what has already taken place just in the last 5 weeks alone.
Spend in free agency to fix the defense. And then to me, top 50 picks right now, they could have 4 of them. That's where I'm addressing the offense the most. And look, I'm not saying you can't sign anyone in free agency, to help your offense. They could use some of that money to re-sign AVT to a prove-it deal to John Simpson and Josh Myers, so they have some continuity there, right? I think we all expect them to tender John Mechie. So, you still could address the offense with your free agent dollars, but I think a big focus should be using that money to revamp the defense.
Yeah, and maybe I'm wrong, but I have to look it up. I don't think retaining your own free agents, including high-priced ones, if they wanted to give AVT an above-market deal to have him stay on a 1-year deal, I don't think that cancels out any of their compensatory picks. I know there's probably still going to be spenders and cancel out a lot of their picks anyway, but we're going to start seeing a trend of the Jets having more compensatory picks than in years past. We've had 0 in the last 6 years. It feels like we had a couple last year. We're on pace to have 1 this year, I believe. So there's going to be signs of comp picks coming down. So retain your guys first. Don't let them hit the market, and then, address your needs after that.
We also have more cap space than we anticipated. Good nugget today in a story that Joel Corey wrote over at CBSSports.com, breaking down dead money charges for NFL teams. A little note on the Aaron Rodgers dead money. Because the Jets released Rodgers and didn't pick up his option, $7 million cap hit was pushed into 2025. So the Jets were charged $21 million instead of $14 million. Thus, the Jets get a $7 million cap credit for 2026, and the AR dead money is only $28 million, not $35 million. So that's encouraging. The Jets have some newfound money, an extra $7 million in cap space on top of what was already projected to be close to $100 million.
Very on par for the theme of this show. That's a moral victory.
That is, in fact, a moral victory. Although, you know what? I still have the clip. Here we go. Yeah! You love it, Dylan. You love it. This is the moral victory show. Yes, indeed. All right, some more cap space for the Jets. Before we get to our next item here, how about the return of Felix, gift in the community, 5 memberships. Felix Campos.
Felix Campos, he wonderful, wonderful guy. He gives a lot of gift memberships and loves the Jake Asman Show.
Take the money.
Our guy Felix in the raffle for 5, as Bobby would say. Felix the cat. So, Felix, you have 5 chances to win a Jets rivalry jersey at the end of the show, and you're in for the weekly raffle. Sean Bennett writes in, hey, Jake, are you ready for the Seanster? I think I have no choice but to be ready, Sean. You better be calling in today. We will get you coming up. We also got some other super chats to hit on here. I want to get to this one from MH, who says, the one thing I love is the fact that the players are playing hard for AG, despite the fact it's a lost season. That is saying something. Exactly what we were hitting on earlier. I think that's well said.
Yeah. Well, it's not a lost season to the guys in the locker room. I remember yelling at Alan about that and saying a couple weeks ago, yes, to us fans who want the draft, and obviously we thrive and salivate out the mouth at the team building portions of the offseason, because that's really the only time the Jets have gotten improved. They don't improve during the regular season. So I told Alan, I was like, if you ask the guys in the locker room, this isn't a lost season. They have so much to play for, whether it's personal, individual things or, team-based things. They have things to prove over the next 5 games. So it's not a lost season to them, even though they understand that the playoffs are, they're booking their early vacations, but they're still going to play out the season.
Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. This one is from Wild Stallion, who says, full Madden franchise mode. If we can't get the quarterback this year, we trade back to the 20s, add another one next year. Arch, you can run, but you can't hide. I don't even want to think about that right now, Wild Stallions. But thank you for the laugh.
If this was true Madden, Wild Stallions, we would find a way to own all 32 picks in the draft that Arch Manning is coming out. So he has no choice but to be selected by the New York Jets, because that's probably the only way it's going to happen. But we want the quarterback come hell or high water. However it happens, we all want the same thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dan the Jet fan checks in. I know it's a month away, but the first move the Jets should make at the end of the season, and why? For me, it's Fire Steve Wilkes. I hate to say it, but I think that's the biggest staff change they can make that will have a real impact potentially for next year in a positive light.
Yeah, 100%. And I know a lot of names have been floated out. I'm kind of with Wilpaw on this one. Al Harris, man, go get him out of Chicago. I remember watching him with the Green Bay Packers. He's the guy who infamously or famously picked off Matt Hasselbeck when they were in overtime and they won the coin toss. And Matt Hasselbeck was like, "We want the ball. We're going to score." And he threw a pick six that Al Harris just completely anticipated and sat on and took it to the crib. So I would like Al Harris a lot, just being a fan of him as a player. And I don't think it's ever wrong to like go the route of a former player. And we see it with Banjo, right? And obviously AG. So it's like we know that there's evidence that it can work.
More moral victories or small wins or however you want to describe it. Point 6. They have Breece Hall. Remember in the spring when Glenn said Hall would be part of a 3-back committee? That fueled a few headlines. Those days are gone, in part because Braylon Allen's season-ending knee injury. The main reason, though, is Hall has won over the coaching staff. Hall is only 166 yards shy, becoming the Jets' first 1,000-yard rusher since Chris Ivory in 2015. Hall played 88% of the offensive snaps Sunday, the second highest percentage of his career, 1 week after he wasn't on the field for a critical fourth down play that failed. Explaining Hall's increased usage, Glenn cracked, "Well, you guys got pissed at me last week for not playing him." And again, I like the fact that the coaching staff showed an adjustment week over week. We asked for Breece to be out there on third down. He was out there for 88% of the plays, as it says in the story. And how about the stat that we've said on the show a few times? Beningo's been all over this. The Jets are 18-5 in Breece Hall's career when he scores the touchdown.
Yeah, you got to rely on 20, feed 20. For those who don't remember the tweet, the cryptic tweet, free 20. We're seeing free 20 right here in Rich's 6th point of the article, 166 yards shy. He's going to get that in probably 2 or 3 games at worst, barring health, obviously. But yeah, this is something that needed to happen. And if AG needs to say, if he needs to gaslight the media to say, "Hey, you guys are the reason why Breece Hall plays more," when we in reality should say it's AG and Tanner Angstrand learning from their mistakes and it actually paying off, then yeah, whatever makes AG feel better at the podium, he can gaslight the media all he wants about that. But it is important. 88% of the snaps played. I don't know what game in his career he played higher. I wish Rich put these little information notes in the article too. So it is impressive because when I see more 20 on third down instead of 32, even though we like Isaiah Davis, I feel a lot better about our chances of converting a 3rd and 2.
Matt L is in the raffle for 1. Let's go, Matt. We got him down. If you got a membership from him, thank him. Nick Shine in the house. He says, "Imagine being one of Jake's neighbors walking down the hall and hearing him yell, 'Yeah, Dylan, you love it.' Didn't realize how far behind I was until I typed this, but I was committed at that point." Nick Shine in the raffle for 2. Funny story. I don't know all my neighbors on my floor, but every once in a while, it's happened a couple times this year. I'll get stopped and be like, "Hey, do you do a podcast or something? Do you it happened yesterday with someone that lives down the hall?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do a podcast. I work from home and I do it." "Oh yeah, I could tell. Just kind of hear it sometimes when I'm walking by during the day." I'm like, "Oh God, I can't even imagine what you've heard me say then." If you could hear it walking down. It reminded me in college, my freshman year at Ithaca and Go Bombers, as I'm rocking the hat. I got so many noise complaints when I'd watch the Jets because I was unhinged when I watch them. And you've seen me, Dylan. We went to a game together. So yeah. I would get so many noise complaints because that's why I don't stream myself watching games. So I used to get written up for being too loud, as if they were going to stop me from screaming and yelling about my football team.
Well, my funny story, as you don't know anybody in your building, but your entire building knows you. My funny story about you pertaining to your volume level, coming back into the hotel in Tampa Bay after the game, I was on a little walk. It's called a nature walk. And I was on the hunt for a bottle of water for you, and I couldn't find one because everything is closed on Sundays in Florida. It's so stupid. And I come back in, and the hotel, the way it was set up, Jake was all the way in the farthest corner of the one floor. So there was probably 10 to 12 hotel rooms from the elevator to Jake's hotel room door. And I heard him from the elevator. As soon as the door opened, all I hear is Jake yelling about I forget what it was, probably Tyrod Taylor's pick six or something silly about the Tampa Bay game. And it was like, I was so goddamn hot and they had us out there for that, uncompetitive. And I was just like, yeah, everybody in the hotel luckily was a lot of Jets fans, so they probably are watching in their respective rooms. but it was so funny. I heard them 10 doors down.
That's great. This comment made me laugh from Boomtown. Jake's neighbors here. Show me your sausage, Chuckwagon. Everyone in the chat, write what my neighbors here. I'm curious what memorable quotes people could come up with. Well done, Boomtown. Couple super chats that we'll get to item 7, and then we'll wrap up Rich's list here of the 10 bright spots he highlighted. Taylor in the raffle for 2 more. He says, how we feel about going after one of the Rams safeties in free agency, and what are the odds Linderbaum and the Ravens have issues getting a deal done? So I could speak to Linderbaum. I texted someone that covers the Ravens. Doesn't think there's a chance the Ravens would actually let him walk, which is what I expected. I can't speak to either of the Rams safeties, but they're both good. I would have to look at which one would be a better fit for the Jets, but I'll take anyone who's not Andre Sisco and Tony Adams. I think that'd be an upgrade. So DT, your thoughts?
The chances that a talented offensive lineman hits free agency is so rare nowadays that I would be completely shocked if Linderbaum does hit the market, and the Jets would have to do everything in their power to try to upgrade from Josh Myers, who has been snapping the ball pretty poorly as of the last month for sure. The Rams safeties, I don't remember their names by heart, but they play well in that secondary. They're going to need somebody who's sub 26 years old on a 3-year contract so that they have somebody to pair with Malachi Moore, or they do the sign and trade and they get one from each group, the free agency and the draft. And then they have a trio of safeties that they feel good about. So those are definitely 2 positions I would be attacking, center and safety. I just don't know if those are the names that inevitably get free.
Some comments here, Dylan.
I seen them.
Big fella, they hear you say beast. Dana wrote in, let me check in with my meat guy.
Yeah.
Nick Shine, how much do I have to pay you now, Charles? Well done, gentlemen. Well done. Let's see. Super chat from Troy. The Jets don't have a draft spot problem. They have a winning problem. One thing at a time. Does this get me in for the raffle? Go Jets. It does get you in, Troy. You are in for one. Appreciate you supporting the show. Troy says, LOL, probably something in offseason with Beast. We love you, Beast. 3-time ear infection survivor. We'll check in with the man coming up in just a bit. Let me make sure we're caught up on the super chats. I believe we are. All right, let's get to the last 3 small victories, bright spots for your New York Jets. Item 7, look, in identity. This Jets team will never be confused with a high-powered offense, 25th in points per game, but at least it knows what they want to be, and they usually show it. Their rushing attack accounts for 48% of their offense, easily the largest ratio in the league. It's been a while since they had an identity, probably not since the ground and pound days under Rex Ryan circa 2010. They do have an identity. Part of the reason they have this identity, though, is because Fields couldn't complete a pass to quote the owner. With Tyrod, they have been more balanced.
Yes, no, that's certainly fair. Sorry, I'm getting caught up in more of the Jake yelling comments. It is definitely a change, right? From going from Fields to Taylor, you're going to see it kind of flip back towards a more balanced offense, or we would assume a more balanced offense because they are completing passes down the field. Like that 52-yard pass for the touchdown, dude, that's so unheard of with Justin Fields outside of the 33-yard crossing route to Garrett Wilson against Pittsburgh. So, I mean, it is nice that they want to run the ball. They told us all season they want to run the ball. Teams had all offseason prepared for the Jets running the ball, and they're still able to do it, even against teams that are pretty, stand up against the run. They've had maybe a couple stinkers in the run game this season, but even when all 22 people and everybody on the sidelines knows that the Jets want to run the ball, they still find success doing it. So I think that is certainly something to hang your hat on. I would hope, in the next, 2 to 3 years with a quarterback that we appreciate and is competent enough to change the balance of this where it's not 48% of your offense, but if it still hovers in the 38 to 42% range, that's certainly great. And then you have a young ascending quarterback who's going to eventually take over more and more of the pass game, percentages. So I do like that they have an identity. They told us all year what it's going to be, and they still have success doing it. Sometimes I don't love when they run the ball down 15 points in the fourth quarter, like they did early on this season. But to your point, when they don't trust the quarterback, which we see it with the plays that they call, they do not trust Fields compared to Taylor, and they probably don't trust Taylor as much as they might trust the rookie next year, or whoever they go out and sign or trade for. So I am happy that they can run the ball, but I do eventually want to see us trend more towards a more modern NFL.
Let's see. Amanda, I just want to be lurking.
That's a good
Hopium. New Q, I'm not reading your comment about Gary, but that made me laugh.
Shit.
Let's see.
Something about Dixon Hole's got to be on there too.
Some of these I can't read here, but appreciate the chat for being engaging. All right. Next item here. Let's get to number 8. Continuity on the offensive line. Known in recent years for being ravaged by injuries, the line has remained intact since week 1. Jets are the only team that has started the same 5 in every game. In fact, they haven't gone this far into a season with the same 5 since 2012. To be fair, they didn't lose right guard AVT to a season-ending injury before week 1, and that hurt, but they've adjusted quickly and have become a solid unit, especially in the run game. It's been huge. Left guard John Simpson said of the continuity, we've got guys with nicks and bruises, but they go out there every day and wrap it up and continue to compete. That has O-line room, has some scrappy guys in there.
Always love when they can just wrap it up and go in there and get the work done. I'm looking as you were talking. We entering week 14 last season against the Miami Dolphins. The Jets had already deployed 4 different starting offensive line combinations. Now you have to probably put the caveat that Fashanu started at right tackle and then became the left tackle eventually. So it's kind of like a pseudo 4 because you kind of kept the same people in there. But you had Hansen start 2 games in week 8 and 9 last year, and then Vera Tucker took back over. So like we saw the dreadful part of this offensive line in the years past. So to now have this where it's been the same all year, and hopefully it's going to continue being the same all year, I love it. And that makes me want to retain all these guys for the future, even the guys like Josh Myers, who might not necessarily be great, but if he's your backup center and you draft a center in the 2nd or 3rd round and he ends up competing for the center spot with Josh Myers, then that's even better. So I think it speaks well to the hiring of Steve Hyden and the continuity in terms of availability and performance by this offensive line. And goddamn, we have bookend tackles, Jake, forever. I don't care how long it is, but forever, maybe 5 years, but
it's better than anything we've seen in a long time. Exactly. No doubt. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, look what we have here. Charles Gorman signed up to become a channel member all by himself. Hit the Gorman.
Fuck you, Dave Berger.
Whoa! Ooh. Charles Gorman in the raffle for 1. He wants to fly with the Jets.
Who want to fly with them Jets?
Call in today, Charles. We have lots to discuss with you. Lots to discuss. All right, home stretch here. Let's get to the last few. This one is at number 9. They're developing talent on the fly on Sunday. 7 rookies and second-year players play at least 45 snaps, including 4 2025 draft picks. It also includes second-year receiver A.D. Mitchell, acquired in the Sauce trade. Mitchell, coming off an 8-catch, 102-yard game, has solidified a place in the team's 2026 plans. Quote, I just think his confidence is at an all-time high right now, and we want to continue to get him the ball as much as we can. You and I have highlighted this. The fact that A.D. Mitchell was a throw-in, they got Mechie, and you feel like those 2 guys could be in your room next year, and you have Garrett Wilson, and you have Mason Taylor, and you probably have Breece Hall being brought back. This rookie quarterback is not starting from nothing with whoever he's throwing the football to.
Yeah. I have the blueprint kind of set up for my 2020 rebuild video that I'll eventually do on my channel. And I'm piecing together the offense with only the known pieces that we absolutely know we're going to have in the future for next year. So I didn't really technically include John Mechie, although I do believe they're going to tender him. But if they have Mechie, obviously they keep AD, who's under contract. They have Garrett under contract for 5-6 years. The offense looks pretty talented if you add a first, second, or if you trade into the third round wide receiver, right? You have Garrett, your rookie wide receiver 2. You have, let's just say they go end of first round, right, with their wide receiver, and it's Denzel Boston from Washington. You have Garrett, Denzel, AD, Mechie, because they're going to tender him, Arian Smith or Isaiah Williams fighting as your 5. That is so much better than Josh Reynolds and Tyler Johnson being your wide receiver 2 in week 1 of the season. So, I mean, I'm impressed with AD. I'm honestly equally impressed with Mechie, even though he had a down game. And it's going to go further, to provide a dummy-proof offense for the quarterback, whoever it is, right? Mendoza, Moore, Simpson, Kyler Murray, Jacoby Brissett, Trevor Lawrence, whoever it is. Like, it doesn't matter. They're going to not have an excuse of there wasn't enough talent around them. They didn't have the blocking up front. Everything we're doing is putting the chips into the table, and they're all young while they're doing it. That's the best part. A lot of these guys, I think AG and Mooj have brought in 18 guys that are not here, that are here for 2 or more seasons, right? And most of them are 26 and younger. So you have a nucleus of their roster of guys. So I'm really impressed by the talent, obviously, in the youth. But I think the draft class that Rich kind of alludes to, the 7 rookies that have already played this year, they're all damn good. Obviously, Tyler Barron's probably not good, but like everybody else is damn good, including Kiko Malinoa, who's shown flashes on both defense and special teams.
The final small victory for the Jets, according to ESPN's Rich Cimini. Number 10, Glenn is gaining valuable experience. There were some glaring game management hiccups earlier this season. See the wacky 2-minute drill before halftime against Denver in London. Glenn believes this is the area where he has improved the most, and it showed up Sunday as he managed the clock during some frantic final moments. Quote, "I've become confident in my thought process," he said, of his overall game management. Now, I will say, little clunky at the end of the Falcons game. They had 12 seconds to go. They used the timeout. We're thinking, okay, what's happening here? Like, that wasn't handled the best, but you talk about the positives when you win, and Nick Folk hit the kick. So it's all okay. But, the false start penalty, that'd be the biggest thing, would be accentuating, not disciplined, weren't ready for the moment. Like, you just know how it goes that they had lost, but they didn't. They won. And you give the coach and the staff credit when you do win. But again, I do think it's been better. We haven't had any debacles like the London game, which was, for Jet coaches, like, that was one of the worst coach games I've ever witnessed in my life.
Yeah, it was definitely scary hours in the beginning of the season. London obviously was awful. We were just screaming. I mean, I'm sure I was sending you in full capital letters, text messages, no punctuation, like Beast Breaker style, like just like screaming to put Tyrod Taylor in. And it's just like, dude, why can't they just make the simplest decisions to help this football team? Now it seems like they're doing it. You kind of brought up that part about Atlanta. When I was watching the game live, I didn't even realize that pass that was completed to AD Mitchell, they took the timeout before they realized they got the first down. So I wonder if AD catches the ball and they don't rule it an incomplete, or whatever happens. They rule it short. They ruled it short, and then they ruled it a first down. I wonder if they got the first down, if AG would have played it differently and not called the timeout right away. I feel like something could have changed there. There was other people that said they should have just kicked it with 12 seconds and not tried to throw it out of bounds a couple times and waste the clock. In my opinion, I immediately was just like, okay, yeah, keep going. Like, play till there's no seconds left on the clock and then kick it, right? So I don't know. Like, I don't think it was necessarily a bad situation there, but 2 or 3 drives prior, they called the timeout with 1:46 seconds left on the clock. And it got them not just 1 possession on defense, but 2 possessions on defense, because Atlanta stopped them and used all their timeouts. That's when they got us deep in our end zone, and Tyrod got sacked on first down, and we were punting out of our own end zone. Atlanta got the ball back, and we still had 2 timeouts, and they threw the ball 3 straight times. So the Jets, because of that 1 timeout AG took with 1:40-something left on the clock, changed the trajectory of the next 4 drives up until Nick Folk made the field goal. So I liked the way that AG handled it, and I didn't even think about the whole 12-second kick in the field goal at that point until after the fact when people had talked about it. But I think in the moment, they don't play like that. And obviously the false start penalty, which is on Josh Myers, in my opinion. If everybody moves on the front offensive line except for the center, it's probably the center's fault, right? They didn't get it all wrong. The center got it wrong. So it's not necessarily like lack of coaching in that moment. And I actually thought he did a good job in the final 2 minutes.
Hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Jersey giveaway at the end. You want a rivalry Jets jersey? Well, make sure you enter the Asmaniac raffle. We're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Here's your look at the Jets-Dolphins line as the Jets will try and win their first ever AFC East division game under Aaron Glenn. Jets opened as 2.5-point underdogs. It has been bet up to 3. So the Jets are now getting a full 3 points. I believe the line closed at 3 against Atlanta. And obviously the Jets won outright. So, DT, give us your early feel for this game. Are you liking the Jets' chances here to keep their winning ways rolling, win 4 of 5? You know, it'd be great if we could hear you, DT, but when you mute yourself, we don't hear anything.
I took a sip of my drink, and I didn't want to sound gross through the microphone. I've gotten complaints about drinking on podcasts before. It's like, I don't come here to watch you guys drink. Sorry.
I do. You could drink if you would like.
Someone passed me a jet fuel. I like the Jets' chances of keeping it close. I just don't know if I can still pick the Jets to win, right? I took the Falcons to win 24-14, and obviously they scored 14 points, but we scored 27. So I'm going to go the Dolphins pull this one out. I think they're playing a lot better. They're playing like us, right? They've turned it around. They're kind of playing for their coach, even though we don't know what the future of Mike McDaniel is. They obviously have fired their general manager, and they're on a 3-game win streak. So for that, I want to say that the Dolphins get the win. But if this is not a game that is close until like the last team that gets the ball scores and wins the game, I'm going to be sorely disappointed. Like, that's my expectation. I don't necessarily expect the win, but if we lose on a last-second field goal, then that's okay, right? I'm cool with that. But be competitive. Give yourself the chance to win the game. Don't outcoach yourself or get outcoached, right? I think that's kind of the barometer of these games for me. Can Engstrand do what he did the last time they played the Miami Dolphins, run the ball? What was it? I think it was like a 14-play drive to start the game, and 11 or 12 of those plays were runs, and then they fumbled the ball with Braylon Allen. So it's like, can we go back to that game script, tweak that game script, because that's probably what they're going to focus in on as a defense, and then outcoach, I forget their defensive coordinator's name. But then on the flip side, can we, Steve Wilks, outsmart and try to stop Mike McDaniel and Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle and all those guys, because we know that they're explosive, and we can say all the weather stats about Tua and everything like that. It's still the Jets. And if there's ever a stat for the Jets to immediately correct, that sounds like one of the stats where it's like, yeah, they're 1-7, but they're playing the Jets, so they're probably going to be 2-7 at the end of this game. So I would say that the Dolphins win it, but if this game is not close, Jake, it's going to be bad.
I think it's close, and I'm leaning towards picking the Jets for the second week in a row. We will see. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Gorman, after becoming a member, is now gifting a membership, and it went to Charleston Jets Rube. Gorman, another raffle ticket. We'll hear from Charles coming up. First, a super chat from Anthony Logerato, who says, Jake, your neighbors here, you say, show me your snake, Craig. LOL. That's right. Craig in Australia yesterday calling in with Jake the Snake, which was awesome. All right, let's get to your calls because we got a bunch of you on the line and some really great callers, too. Let's start it off with our guy, Lou B, down in AC. What's up, Lou?
Oh, I'm in Miami right now.
Oh, it looked like Atlantic City in the background.
There's the arena over there where we kick the shit out of the Heat.
Hell yeah.
Right. So I'm seeing all these mock drafts, right? And it is driving me crazy how many don't have quarterbacks in them. And these are like real pros that do this for a living. You guys got to be honest with me. Is there a way that we leave this draft without a quarterback?
Yes.
Well, there's a scenario where they leave the first round maybe without one. But what's good about the draft, Lou, it's after free agency. So you have a pretty good idea. Like if the Jets acquired Joe Burrow in this hypothetical scenario, or, someone that is the starter, well, then it will make more sense. I find it hard to believe, though, as we sit here right now, that the Jets are not going to come away with a first-round quarterback. There's, of course, a scenario they don't, but I think all signs continue to point to the fact the Jets will be aggressive. If they have to trade up to get their guy, they'll do it.
Yeah.
But how about all these drafts making them pass on even tie sitting there? I mean, that's just
one
crazy,
draft,
man.
though. That's one guy. That's Dane
No.
Brugler's doing one draft now where there were 2 trade ups. I think the Jets, if they liked Mendoza, they'd make the same deal that Cleveland did. I think the Jets, if they liked Dante Moore, they'd make the same trade up that the Raiders did in that mock that we covered this morning.
What do you guys Dylan? What do you honestly think is going to happen?
Oh, I think it's interesting that Cimini in the ESPN draft primer article was asked, when do the Jets draft a quarterback, 26 or 27? And he said the infamous line, the 27 class is deemed to be superior to the 2026. So I had a chuckle about that. And then Dane put out his mock. And yes, Dane is very plugged in, right? Obviously with the college world and the NFL world. And he said the same thing. The 2027 class is going to be better than the 26 class. I'm not sitting here saying it will or won't be. I hate having that discussion. The prospects are who the prospects are when we get to evaluate them. But yeah, dude, there's a world where the Jets probably, trade for a guy or sign a guy, and they don't love their ability to get up in the draft to get a guy. Like if they only love Fernando Mendoza and he goes 1-1 to whoever the Titans trade out of, do they want to get into a bidding war for that one guy? We don't know, but I would say that they probably err on the side of caution and don't do it. And then they take whoever falls to them at 7 or try to trade out. To Jake's point, though, we will know who it's going to be like in March, right? If it's not a veteran or a guy we trade for, it's going to be a rookie. So like at least at one point this offseason, we'll find out if it's going to be a quarterback. But yeah, dude, there's going to be a world where we don't take a quarterback and Jake hates his life.
Well, you guys have a great day. But one last thing. I mean, I don't know if they check, but the stadium is pretty empty. And I'm, one of the guys screaming there every week. And if they want fans back, they need a quarterback.
100%.
They need a quarterback fast because this gets crazy. Just sitting there watching, for so long, just watching no passes and shit was crazy. I mean, Tyrod, thank God for him right now. But if we got to go into another season without somebody slinging it, or at least the hope that somebody can come in and sling it, I don't know. It's going to be a tough one.
Is there a veteran? Like I'll just throw 3 names. Don't hold me to these guys are going to get moved. But like Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, Kyler Murray, any of those names do anything for you that would make you a little bit happier?
Stroud would for me.
As a fan, him first, obviously, but I'd rather have Trevor than not have someone, right?
Right, exactly.
Right. So I do think that with all this money and all these different things that this GM has now to come, that would be a real, that would be really messed up for the fans. You not to go into this season with a quarterback. That would be really, really messed up.
Hey, Lou, how wild you get in Miami tonight? You going to go all DT in Tampa, that kind of crazy? What are we getting into later?
Well, so it is Art Basel weekend. So you have every billionaire with all their yachts down here this weekend. I mean, from Jeff Bezos' yacht to the founder of WhatsApp, everyone, all the yachts here. There's models dripping off the walls out here. I just got here. Going to get into it real quick. Then I go to Bahamas for a wedding on Saturday. And then I land right into Newark at 1:00 and go straight to the Miami game.
You're a madman. I like that the first thing you do when you land in Miami is put on a Jet YouTube show to call it and give takes being concerned about a mock draft when it's
That's right. It's
December
disturbing
4th.
to me. I can't relax when I saw that mock draft and it said to pass on a quarterback. I'm like, I was watching on the plane. You guys made me, I almost needed the Boff bag on the fucking plane.
Passed on him twice and they took a cornerback from a school that I like, South Carolina. And they didn't even take the best defensive back, in my opinion, from their team. So I'm like, I couldn't get down with the second pick. I can get down with the wide receiver, but then you have to trade up or be aggressive at the back end of round 1 and try to get your passer if it's not one of those top 3 names, or you go into the middle of the round where Simpson was taken at 14 by the Steelers. You try to get into that range and get that quarterback 3 if he falls. Because I agree with you, not having a quarterback going into next season, nobody's going to want to sit through that. And you sat through the rain and watched that game with the Falcons. So like, hats off to you.
Oh
man.
yeah, frozen, man. That was a rough. That was a rough one. And I loved all the fans that stayed there in that cold weather because I was looking and nobody was leaving after. Look, I was Team Tank too. Now that's effed up once now I'm back to win. Now I want to kill Miami this week. I'm thinking about going, Dylan, I told you, I'm thinking about going to Buffalo too because I'd love to see us win on their last. That would be a good revenge.
On their last game at Highmark. Yeah.
So me and Bo
keep them out of the playoffs at the same time.
Yeah, that would be a nice one. So I got to
Hell
keep
yeah.
my eye on these games, but we need a quarterback, and it's obvious that if they don't do that, I think they lose a ton of season ticket holders. They're already calling us about like re-upping the tickets and stuff, and I'm like, it's you got to make your decision now. And it's so funny. Right after the win the other day, I got the email to renew the ticket. So
Of course.
they try to go on your high, right?
Hmm.
So they
Yeah, but
waited for a win.
Lou,
Yeah.
what's the worst case if you just waited? It's not like there's a wait list. Like you could easily get season tickets closer to the season. No, they're not going to deny you. They need the money. They
No,
need season ticket holders.
you're 100% right. I just love my seats. I'm on the 50-yard line, and I'm on the exact perch on the 12th row, so I could see perfect. And believe it or not, those tickets they weren't available to this year. They were stuck in there for about 8 years. Somebody had those tickets. He left. But no, I hear you. I could wait, and for me, it's just really about going as a fan and not being outnumbered all the time. Like I'm always going there and being outnumbered. When we go to a home game and you were outnumbered, it's just so crazy. It's just
Yeah,
so
even
crazy to be
Pittsburgh week
outnumbered.
1 was kind of wild. And I'm guilty. I
Oh,
brought my cousin who's a Steelers fan, so I was 50-50. Her and I were just one of each team, but there was a lot of terrible towels, but at least the Jets did the smart thing that week, dude, and they gave out the towels. If Jake makes me big on my screen, they gave out those towels or the flags for us to
I
wave
know. No,
around
yeah, yeah,
instead
yeah.
of the Steelers. Yeah, these flags here. So like they gave us those to wave around. So at least it wasn't all just yellow in the crowd. But even week 1, man, they came out and they showed us that MetLife does not have home field advantage.
Yo, and the Jets announcer said, "Wave your towels." I was like, "Oh God." He told us to
Yeah.
wave the Pittsburgh towels. We didn't have towels. They gave out flags. I'm like, this guy's a genius. But yeah, but you guys have a great night, and I just can't deal with this non-quarterback talk. You better bring us home a quarterback. I don't care who, what, when, or how. We need a quarterback. I cannot take it no more. I want a quarterback. Period. We're rich. We have picks. We have money, and we have a smart GM. So he needs to figure this shit out.
Go say
Ladies and
that to the
gentlemen,
models, and you'll be loving your
Don't-
weekend.
Oh,
let's
you know I
go.
will.
Lou
You know
B, live
know.
from South Beach. Let's go. I had to play a Tampa video for Lou, who was awesome to hang out with that weekend down in Tampa. My God. Calling into a Jet show. First thing he does when he lands in Miami. That's amazing.
Hey, you tell those models that you got money, you got picks, they're gonna be all over Lou B tonight.
Nick Shine responding to Charles Gorman spending some cash says NJ SSDI must have sent out. Thanks for not working all year. Year-end bonuses. Keep cooking, Chucky. Nick Shine going up and in on our guy Charles Gorman. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot of calls still to get into right now, but we've mentioned them. It's time to say hello to the man himself.
Hey, Charles! You'll never get my chicken soup recipe. Hey, Charles! I'm not saying that Lowski takes steroids. Please, some of it. Hey, Charles! Who is that lovely lady? Send it this way, Charles!
Hello, Dylan. Hello, Jake. How are you guys doing?
Hello, Charles. Where's all this money coming from?
Comes through magic.
Okay.
As for some of the bright spots, I definitely do agree the Jets do have 2 quality bookend tackles for the next 10 plus years. Olu has been very good, has been great these past few weeks. Armand Membu, even though he had a rough game on Sunday versus the Falcons, he's been really good this year. I mean, I know Jeremy said a lot of people are considering him for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't think he'll get it, but he'll definitely, I think, should get consideration for it.
Yeah, I'm with you. The offensive line is playing really well. The tackles are playing great. Jake's advertising a raffle for the rivalries jerseys, and I'm wondering if number 70 is available because it's probably the jersey I would want the most from the Jets is Armand Membu. I think he should be in the Rookie of the Year discussion. Any rookie rankings that doesn't have Armand Membu on it is not identified by this lower quadrant of the screen that you're looking at. So I'm with you. The offensive tackles are a bright spot.
Hey, Charles, can we discuss where the money's coming from? Because people in the chat have some thoughts on it. Apparently, Addison says you went from the catfishy to the catfisher. Are you catfishing people and scamming others after you yourself were scammed?
No, I do not. I am not scamming anybody.
Mike says Charles has been doing some male exotic dancing on the side for some
They're just
extra.
making up crap. Are you serious right now?
I'm just reading you the comments. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just asking you for a comment on the record. Leon says Charles has started a catfish company and the first IPO came in.
I'm getting money from the government. Why does that matter?
The American taxpayers?
Yes, why?
Well, Taylor predicted it accurately.
Is it true you use the pseudonym Catherine Fisher on internet dating sites? And that's how you've gotten the money?
I don't use dating sites.
Okay.
Any truth to the rumor you've been trading meme coins?
I'm not trading any meme coins. No, I'm not the biggest fan of memes.
You're not a Doge holder?
Can we stop and
How much for a lap dance? That's from Jack.
All right. I got a football question for Charles.
Thank you.
How do you feel about your quarterback's fractured fibula?
Didn't he play last week?
How do you feel about your quarterback's fractured fibula?
It's fine. I think he'll recover in time.
Okay. He could.
Are you working at a sperm bank?
I'm not doing anything sperm related.
I was just reading the comments here from Gator.
That's the sock underneath his bed. That's the sperm bank.
Addison says you're answering these questions like a seasoned catfish.
No matter what I do, this community continues to shit on me.
I think this community is just curious where this copious amounts of cash
No,
came
they
from.
like to shit on me.
No one's shitting on anyone here. All right, we're a family show. All right, what people want to do behind closed doors. I'm not going to kink shame here, Gorman, but no one's shitting on anyone on a YouTube show.
Not literally, but figuratively speaking. They're disrespecting me. They're dissing me. It's like no matter what I do, this community will never truly accept me.
Well,
it's not true. The fact that we like to pick on you this much is
my mental health wasn't that strong. Look, I was an idiot. What else do you want me to do?
No, we don't care about that. But the fact that we like joke with you, Charles, it should be like the surest sign that we do embrace you and that we do accept you and you are all of our friends. You're not our friendly foes like Black Gypsy like to say, but that the evidence is the fact that we do make fun of you. Like if we were making fun of you with like really negative things, like look at the way people handle Beast Breaker, right? I feel like that's really negative energy that people put out towards Beast Breaker. We don't interact with you, right? I don't think I've ever said anything that I have said towards Beast anywhere near what I've said to you. So
the community loves you, Gorman.
That's what I'm trying to get to. Yo,
we've
Holmes,
sent money to you. Yo, Holmes nailed it. And also, big fellas, 1,000% right. Just pledge allegiance to the Jets, Charles. We love you.
I still watch them, do I?
25 says the Gormani OnlyFans has been going crazy. So that's where the money's coming from.
I'm not doing OnlyFans. If I was doing
the Gormani exchange. He gets some money. He sends a little picture.
Black Gypsy says we literally just make jokes.
Yeah, well, sometimes I can't. Sometimes you guys say things maliciously I hear on this show.
Nate says I've honestly never heard of Charles doing anything for anyone else.
Damn, Nate. What the hell? Charles, what have you done for somebody lately? I don't know. Prove Nate wrong. Go.
I just gifted somebody a Measure membership.
Yes,
right, you did.
Shove it, Nate. Fall off your e-bike.
Suck it, Nate. Also, let's get to the elephant in the room. Your relationship with Dave Briga. Is there any scenario where the two of you could get back on the same page and see eye to eye again?
I don't know. Sometimes I think he comes at me like a grumpy older gentleman, and there are times he does say things legitimately.
Now, when you said this to him, do you have any regrets?
Fuck you, Dave Briga.
Whoa! Ooh.
You got Mad Max. I actually never talked to Mad Max. Let him talk to me first. I'd like to talk to Mad Max first.
Whose show is this, Charles? You don't just have to make demands.
I'm just saying a suggestion.
Whoa, he's wearing a Jets sweatshirt. Look at that.
Yes, I've had this shirt for a long time. since I was in high school or a teenager somewhat.
Look, if you want to talk to Mad Max, I can make it happen, but you're not going to be able to get a word in with Mad Max. He's going to overpower you and he's going to dominate you, the likes of which you've never been dominated before.
Whoa.
No giggity?
No,
All Diddy.
You
All
sicko.
If Mad Max ain't yapping about jets, that boy, he's jamming, he's slamming, freaking dancing, wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman. He got an orange wall.
What's up, Charles? Can you hear me? Let's hear about. So, how do you think the Colts are doing? How do you feel about the Colts so far? I mean, they're collapsing. You know, the Colts have had a bad collapse since you joined their fan base. It might be called the Gorman collapse because you know the Colts. Once you became a Colts fan, they start collapsing.
How you doing, Mad Max? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Gorman? How you doing? So let's talk about the Jets. So here's our predictions for the Jets game. So I think the Jets are going to meet the Dolphins. What's your thoughts on that? Charles, what's your thoughts on that?
They beat the Dolphins. I don't think Mike McDaniels is a good coach. I think he sucks, honestly.
That's true. I mean, the Dolphins can't play in 40-degree weather.
I don't think Anthony Weaver's that good of a defensive coordinator. I mean, he's in great shape, but I don't think he's that great of an offensive coordinator. I mean, defensive coordinator, excuse me. Tua, I think, has yet to be injured this year, which is interesting. Or I could be wrong about that. I mean, the Jets ran the football a lot the last time they played the Dolphins, but they didn't get the W. I mean, as they were driving on their first possession, Brandon Allen, who I think is still out for the rest of the year, he fumbled, which really sucked, obviously. It was really bad. I mean, I like Brandon Allen. I think he's got a bright future in the NFL. I think – I mean, hopefully Breece Hall, I think, is still on pace for an 1,000-yard season.
I agree with you on that. You know, the Dolphins just can't play in 4 degrees. And you know what, Gorman, you think Tua has not been injured, but he's been terrible. You know, he's been horrible. And how have the Colts been recently, Gorman? How have they been?
Terrible. I'm sorry.
The Colts, Tua, he's been horrible this year.
Oh, he's been horrible. Yes, absolutely. He hasn't been as good since 2023. No, 20.
What do you guys' opinion on me doing a backflip through this orange wall?
Did you get what you needed out of that, Charles? You got your Mad Max fix?
Yes, I did.
All right. Well, I think this was a productive call for you, Charles. I think a lot of people got a chance to see you showcase what makes you great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely one of the better calls I've done.
Now, what's the latest with the job pursuit before we let you run?
Well, I've been talking with New Q. He said there are some there's animal shelters near him. I'm actually going to talk more about that in the chat, actually. So I definitely want to I'm definitely thought about volunteering.
You need a job. You don't need to volunteer. You need to be paid for your services.
I definitely need to be active. Period.
Yes, you should go on a walk every day. I agree. But you need a job.
I'm not denying that, Jake. I'm not denying that.
If you're going to work, Charles, make sure you get paid for it. That's all I'm going to say.
Damn right. Have a good day, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Gorman.
Yeah!
What a man. What a man. Let's keep it rolling here. We got just legends upon legends on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Who knows where this one's going?
Sean, he wears batshit crazy glasses. Spikes his football in the toilet. He might be a little drunk. 3D Gary thinks the guy is a midwit. Is that a Cybertruck on his face? Let's ask Sean Sugator.
Hey guys.
Hey, Sean.
First of all, I want to apologize to Jake. You know, about some message I left him. I was drinking. I was overly emotional, which I get when I'm drinking. And I said something I didn't mean. But I want to praise Moji, for the differences he made. The talent he brought in, and the trades he made. And hopefully it turns out to be like we end up like a playoff team, from the moves he made.
Hey, Sean, they're calling you Ryan Fitz-Xanax in the chat.
Hey, that's the closest we came to the playoffs, 2015. So you keep calling me Ryan Fitzpatrick all day long, so.
Yeah. If only they were calling you that.
And I want to say, like, Quantez Stiggers, man, he played an awesome game last week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, awesome game. And he was all over, like, oh, man. He's an awesome dude. I like Quantez Stiggers.
He asked about you.
Of course he did. I'm a Seas man.
He saw you stick a football in your toilet, and he said, I'm doing it for Sean this week.
You see? It's catchy, Everything
it wasn't a very clean toilet in that video, Sean. I don't know what you got going on in your sewage pipes there, but
I have like IBS, so I shit a lot. So.
You have IBS?
Hell yeah.
Should have put you on with Gorman.
Hell yeah, dude.
No, but
Hey, Sean, let me bring on my poop expert.
No.
Oh, is this Elton John or is it what's up with the
No
sunglasses, my man?
Look at that thumb.
I'm trying
I want to drink antifreeze before I talk to you.
Well, you don't like Beast?
Beast is doing the first part of the shitting process. He's eating, and then
Beast is like one of those guys that like you see in the street, you just want to pummel for no reason.
Whoa!
But
it's not fair.
What did Beast do to you, Sean?
Respect, dirtbag.
Yeah,
dirtbag. You want to go do something? Go sweep the streets. Maybe you'll do something for a change. I'm not gonna waste my time on other shit that doesn't make any sense.
All right, put Beast on. I want to have an argument with Beast.
Why? I thought you just said you didn't want to talk to him.
No, I want to talk to him.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Me and Beast. Let's go.
What do you have to say to him?
I want to tell him how he looks like a human thumb. And no, like, for serious, like,
What did Beast do to you?
He looks at Al Heyman's like turd. But what he do to me? Like,
yeah,
he makes me feel like
he doesn't start it; he just finishes it. He's a man's man.
He makes me feel like I'm like this insecure man.
How so?
Because he like okay. All right, say if you're an angel, right? And you have white wings, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're floating around with white wings. He's like a taint on your wings. So, like, he troubles me. I don't know, like, Jake, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. But
I don't think anyone understands what you're saying.
I'm confused by the taint part.
All right, so I feel like I'm being like tainted by his appearance and voice.
How's your liver doing, Sean?
My liver is awesome, Jake, by the way. I just tested my blood, my blood and everything. So
they're calling you Elton Sean.
They could call me whatever they want. Whatever. Yo, call me what you want. The Diva, King Diva, Queen Diva.
Can you sing some Elton John for us?
Let me see. Elton John.
Little Rocket Man, perhaps?
I like it, the Daniel brother one.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna sing that. I'm not gonna sing, Elton John songs, man. But anyway, I just want to say,
Hey, is this you? This was just sent to me, Sean.
I love that image. It's a great image.
It's quite a prank
shows
to shit with the seat down.
It shows the power within a man, the push,
So are you trying to say that your shits are so powerful they go through the toilet bowl when the seat is down?
They crack the toilet bowl. Like they crack the whole the pipes, with my thunderous fucking shits. So
well, Sean, you said a lot today.
Impressive.
And for that, we are grateful. DT, what to you is your big takeaway from Sean's experience there?
Experience it was. I think, like I said about Gorman, like Sean had a problem with Beast, right? We don't have those problems with Gorman. Beast just brings it out of people sometimes.
Now, big fella disagree with you because I have to disagree, Dylan. I don't think people go after Beast maliciously. Most like him think Beast counter punches more than starts with people.
To which I said, well, then it's probably just me then.
Nick Shine says, DT's neighbors here. I'm confused by the taint part.
Well, that's why I was confused. I'm like, what? Are you talking about the anatomical taint or like a taint, like a stain? Thank you, Nick. I'm glad Nick and I are on the same terrible page.
P-Town Jet in the raffle for one. All right, let's get to the calls here, the remaining calls. We still got some great callers on the line here. This show is just begun.
Chuck Wagon's always cooking, which it takes. Chuck Wagon's even cooking at the game. Chuck Wagon hates McDonald's, but he's headed home to cook. It's time once again for Chuck Wagon.
Jake, Dylan, good evening, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Chuck?
What's up, Chuck?
Not much. I know everybody's talking about the attendance at Jets games, but here's a stat for you guys. Do you know going into week 14 what the Jets rank in average attendance this year for home games?
I don't know, but that includes tickets sold, not actual people at the game.
Exactly. Yes. What would you guess?
I'm going to say, like, because Nick Shine's watching, 69,000.
Jake, you have a guess?
It's probably higher than what I said.
71,000.
Yeah, there you go.
Great. They're fifth.
But what's
Again,
the number?
it's tickets sold, and MetLife is one of the biggest stadiums.
It's average.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Do you want to know? Want to guess who at least the top four are?
Just tell us.
Dallas, then Giants, then Green Bay, then Denver.
Yeah. It's based on the size of the stadium. That's why.
You want to know who's last?
Tell us.
The Dolphins.
No. Bears.
Wow.
Soldier Field's tiny.
Yeah, but still, you would think. I mean, is it that small that their capacity is less than 60,000?
Well, how many people do they average for their games?
About 57.
Okay, and their stadium probably holds 60, so they're sold. They're just
that's 90-something%. Yeah.
Yeah, that just shocks me that that Tennessee and Las Vegas, not one of them are. I would have thought one of those would be last.
Well, I mean, Soldier Field only holds 60,000 people, so it's
wow.
That's why they want a bigger stadium.
I would too.
Chuck, I like you better when you call in cooking something rather than giving us random stats on attendance.
Well, sorry about that. I was not cooking today. I had leftovers, so
What do you
say,
eat?
That's Asman for show me your sausage, Chuck Wagon.
Yeah, Chuck. What do we have tonight? What were the leftovers?
Ham and mac and cheese.
Ham and mac and cheese. Let me bring
Like
on my
Thanksgiving ham and mac and cheese, like some leftovers from Thanksgiving.
Beast.
Yes.
Ham,
Yeah,
mac
yeah.
and cheese.
Sounds
You
good.
in with Chuck Wagon? Beast.
All you had to say was food, and Beast would agree.
Yeah, Beast is not in the global studio headquarters right now.
Yeah, he still
He's
got pie.
finishing the second part of that process. We saw him eating, and now he's got to do the Elton Sean.
You guys really don't listen to the. I mean, I know Jake, you listen to the mock drafts because it gives you content, but you don't take too much solace into those mock drafts. I heard your show this morning, and when I heard the mock draft, I just shook my head. It's just like the guy's going to change his. He's going to change his mind like 5-6 more times before the actual draft. So
Of course. Well, the draft order changes a million times. And we
that
haven't had
too.
free agency, the combine, the pre-draft workouts. I like mock drafts because it gives you a feel on who the players we're going to be spending months analyzing. It gives you that initial feel on like how some of the top guys see the class, right? But it doesn't mean anything now. It's just a nice little exercise
agree.
to get the conversation rolling.
I can't think of the caller's name from this morning. That was. Did he say he was going to cry? I just.
That was Rob. Rob from
yeah. It's just like. It's a mock draft before week 14. I mean, the season's not even over.
Mm-hmm.
If so, just relax on these mock drafts. They're way too early. Just go with the flow. Laugh it off.
You go with the flow a lot, Chuck?
Yeah, I guess. I walked into that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Wagon.
Jets, Jets.
Thank you, Mr. Chuck Wagon. Get in the raffle if you haven't already. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. Some are saying this next call is extraordinary.
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 That's extraordinary.
That's extraordinary.
That's extraordinary.
That's extraordinary.
It's quite extraordinary.
Quite extraordinary.
You know, women shouldn't vote. Just do laundry and vacuum. Extraordinary.
What up, fellas? How are y'all?
Hey, do you have IBS as well?
No, I do not have IBS.
No irritable beast syndrome.
Well,
What about irritable Brigga syndrome? I know you got that.
I think I get Brigga and Beast irritable.
That was the rumble of the year, by the way. You guys went from calling you. Did both of you call each other retarded, or just you? But then by the end of it, the guys were praising the Lord Jesus Christ. I've never seen anything like that.
Amen. He's my brother in Christ. He's my brother. I have to love him. No one ever said anything about liking him. But I think we may be able to get along. We had a conversation yesterday on the Addy show. We might be able to get along.
By the way, Sean's mad at me. He says Jake gives me 3 minutes and then he gives others 6. It's cool. Sean, you are such a diva, dude. Call in more, have good takes. You'll get more time. We go with the flow. What could you have possibly needed more? You wanted to talk to Beast. I didn't find a real reason to put you two together. You didn't say anything. You just told us you had IBS. I don't know what you want from me. Continue, Gary. Dylan, you're very blurry.
Dylan get very yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my webcam decided to partake in some things without me, and now it's all blurry-eyed.
It's all good. You can hear us okay?
I can hear everything fine.
Right, cool.
I leaned too close to the camera, so now it's centrally focused 2 inches in front of it. It's so dumb.
That's bugging. That's wild. All right.
Yeah, I hate it.
So first off, DT, I wanted to get your take on the quarterback situation for the draft. Well, you said 2 things. You asked Trevor Lawrence, I definitely don't want. Murray, and then who was the other guy you said?
CJ Stroud.
CJ. I would, CJ, in a real way. Kyler Murray, I would take Kyler, but I don't want to pay him $40 million. So what would that look like? Right? I would be okay with Kyler, but I would not be okay paying him.
I don't know what the contract or the trade parameters would look like, but I've heard floated out there that potentially they could give us draft picks to take on the contract because of how big it is. So, like, is that worth it? I'm not sure. So, I don't know if I love Kyler either. He would be third on that list for me. It would be Stroud, Lawrence, Kyler if I had to pick because of the contract he's paid and just I don't know. I'm not in love with the whole thought of Kyler Murray in New York, but yeah, I mean,
Well,
Stroud
he's just gonna sit in his apartment and play video games. He'll be all right. He'll be all right.
He'll be all right. But we had a guy like that in Sauce Gardner.
You live in New York City. What'd you do? I sat in my room and played video games till 3 a.m. All right.
True. Once the weather turns cold, he's just going to want to sit inside and just load up Warzone or whatever.
He did embarrass all Texans when he was. Did you see this clip where he's eating pizza at Joe's in Midtown?
I did not.
And he says he's eating the pizza. The guy, he said, "What do you think?" And he's like, "It needs ranch on it or something." I'm like, "God dang, Kyler. Like, you got to embarrass Texas everywhere you go. You go to one of the best pizza places in New York, you say, you need to put ranch on it."
I did see that video. I think it was the West Village location, though.
Was it the West Village location? All right, it might have been. Yeah.
Is that what Texans do with pizza? They put ranch on it?
They do.
I do not. I don't.
Okay.
Well, but Gary, here's why they do that. Because pizza in Texas, and I lived there for 6 years, pizza in Texas is dog shit. So that's why they put ranch on it, because they don't know any better. You don't need real pizza people. If you have good pizza, you don't need ranch. In Texas, they do, because they eat Domino's and they eat, Papa John's and other dog crap like fast food pizza places, because they don't have real pizza down there.
No, I agree. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The dollar slices you get, like the $1, I think they're $1.25 or $1.50 slices now that you get. That would be the best pizza you'd get in Texas. So like the worst pizza you'd get in New York City would clear anything you get in Texas, and I stand on that comment.
Let me bring on my pizza guy.
Papa John's trash.
Put that thumb closer to the screen, Beast.
That's trash.
How short
and who puts ranch on pizza? That pisses me off.
No,
I don't eat ranch pizza. That's for idiots with low IQs, no lower than cheap toilet paper. If you want to eat real pizza and fold it like a real New Yorker. Crunch it, hold it like this, and take a nice big chunk into it. Just think of it that way. And Domino's, I'll take Domino's over Pizza Hut any day of the week. What?
Well said, Beast.
All right. Can I just interject with chicken bacon ranch pizza?
If you want like a
I'm not putting
specialty
chicken.
slice.
I'm not putting chicken.
I don't like it. I don't like ranch. I'm not a ranch guy at all.
I prefer a buffalo chicken slice before chicken bacon ranch.
I'm a barbecue chicken slice, but yes, yeah. But chicken bacon ranch has ranch on pizza, but it's not like I'm scooping ranch out of a cup with my slice of pizza.
Yeah, they put it on the crust, and then sometimes they'll dip the pizza into the. I'm just letting you know what they do. I'm not one of them. I like most things Texans. I like almost all things Texans, except for that. That's nasty. But he lives in one of the great pizza cities. Like I would say outside, I like Chicago deep dish. I like New York better, but I like Chicago deep dish.
It's like lasagna, though. It's not like true pizza.
I like it. We can have this. I like it. I would rather have.
I don't dislike it. I don't
really like it.
I don't dislike it. I just think it's not like really pizza. Like pizza to me is a New York slice. Like Chicago deep dish is like lasagna.
I hate Sicilian, so I would probably be out on deep dish.
Sicilian's my favorite.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, triangular slices on a round pizza. I can't do the Sicilian squares, and it's just a lot of thickness of the dough.
Hey, Beast respects Sicilian.
There you go.
More reason to not like it.
So I also wanted to comment on when we're talking about the 10 things that AG improved on. The last one, gaining game experience. He's 50-some years old. He's been in football his whole life. He can't manage a clock. There are 12-year-olds who play Madden who can manage a clock better than Glenn. How is that a positive thing, right? Like, do you think he can't manage a clock because he doesn't have enough football experience? He's been playing football his whole life. He's 50-something years old. He's been before you're alive.
There's a different level of pressure when you're the head coach of a team, and you got people in your ear. You get things happening in front of you. I don't think it was just about the clock management. It was just like better game planning and like just he's got more experience on being a head coach. Like that should help him.
Do you think he had bad clock management in the Atlanta game?
No,
I thought he did well with the
nothing
timeout
stuck
that
out
he
as
took.
bad. I don't think so. No.
Yeah, the third to last drive of the Falcons, he took a timeout with 1:40 left, and they ended up getting the ball back with 2 timeouts, and they got 2 extra offensive possessions in the 2-minute warning, and one was to kick the field goal. So I thought he did actually a really good job. Earlier in the year, 100%, he did a bad job with a lot of the clock stuff and the yardage stuff. That makes me more mad. Like, time gets away from you, knowing what yard line you're at in order to kick a field goal does not get away from you.
I disagreed, and I was watching the game live with some of these guys. I disagree when Atlanta punted late in the fourth quarter on the 4th and 3 or 4th and 4, whatever they had. I know they were backed up in their own territory, but if you give the ball away, you're probably going to lose. So I would go for that. I know if you don't get it, you lose, but you're most likely going to lose anyway because you're not getting the ball back with a whole bunch of time, and you're giving them the ball in a tie game. So 4th and 4 backed up in my own territory, I would have went for that. That's just my gambler's mentality. I'm not giving them the ball back where I don't have a chance to get it back. But
fair.
as far as the quarterback, DT, I kind of want to get everyone on the record here. So you're not in favor of you have to trade up. Like, let's say we end up 6th. You're not in favor of we have to trade up for Mendoza or whatever quarterback you may like. You're not on that.
I think if they're under the assumption that Mendoza is going 1 overall to whoever the Titans trade out of, I just don't know if they are if Mendoza is the only one they like, or if they only like one guy, right? Whether it's Mendoza or Moore or even Simpson. If they know that guy's going before they pick and it's going to be a bidding war to get up to that guy, do they want to enter that bidding war to get all the way up to 1? I don't know if they like that. I don't think that they're going to do that at that point. Now, do they trade up at all? Maybe. I still think that they could from like 6 to 3 or whatever it is, to try to get that quarterback, maybe quarterback 2 off the board. I just think that if they only like one guy, they're not going to push all their chips in the table to just try to get that one guy.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what would if you had the GM hat on, would you trade up? I mean, do you like Mendoza enough or any of the quarterbacks enough to say I'm going to give you 2 1s, 3 1s, I guess, right? Numbers, whatever pick, and then 2 more 1s. Is there any quarterback that you like enough that you would do something like that?
I don't know about the third one because you're probably giving up 23, unless the team prefers it to be in 2027. Like the mysterious like nature of the Packers Cowboys pick, right? Like whichever pick that they have of that, they could use that and be like, okay, well, if it's the Cowboys pick, you'll get the Cowboys pick if they are bad, right? If the Cowboys have a top 10 pick, then that pick will go to you. Or if it's not, then it'll be maybe the Colts pick if it's a top 10 pick. So there's ways that they can finagle it due to the conditions on those picks that make them better or worse first rounders, which is why I wouldn't want to trade it. I would only want to trade the Jets' natural first round pick next year, hoping that the Jets are picking somewhere between 14 and 22, right?
Yeah.
Maybe for 1 game out of the playoffs, a first round elimination, rather than giving them the Colts pick, which if the Colts are ass next year, that's a Falcons to the Rams type of trade, right? Like now they have their top 10 pick. Or if the Cowboys are ass, or if the Packers struggle, like I would only rather give up our first round pick, if that makes sense. So the third first round pick, no. But I would give up 23 overall, and then Dallas is second. That's the most I would do to get a quarterback, depending on how many spots I had to move.
Sean says, why does Fairy Gary get all this time? Like he knows more football than me.
That says Fiaru, not Fairy. I'm glad you were able to interpret that, but
I speak drunk Sean, so I got it.
let me address Charles real quick. Charles, everyone here likes you. We don't like that you became a Colts fan. It's kind of, like you're one of us. Like this is your team, right? I understand they suck. I get it. We're all in this together, right? And I asked Nate, like, why would you get Jet season tickets again? He's like, because it's not about winning. It's about the community. It's about rooting for the team together. And it's a good point, right? Like, if we just wanted to root for winners, we would have abandoned this ship years ago. I'm 42 years old. If I wanted to root for a winner, I would have abandoned this thing decades ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
But but everyone in here likes you, Charles, okay? And even if they don't, who cares? Look at half the comments that people make to me in the chat. People come after my family. People come after my wife and kids. Like,
you're a martyr.
Don't worry about them. I'm a martyr. Don't worry about them. They're just ignore them. Ignore them. Just don't.
All right, can you address Sean's comment now?
Well, why do I get so much time to talk? Because you give it to me.
Well, he called you a fairy.
Again, he's name called. It doesn't bother me that he called me a name. Like it doesn't.
You should call him a midwit.
I'm a midwit. I never called him a midwit. That's what you called him, apparently, and then said I called him that. I never called him a midwit. I never called him that. And I think I did call.
Do you know more football than Sean?
I don't know. He played football, right? He played high level high school football.
Did he?
I think so. Didn't he say his team won? Did he say his team won a national championship? He's from Jersey, right?
I don't know. I don't think we know definitively about anything Sean has said. How do we know what's real, what's not?
This is Sean with the glasses, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guy you called a midwit.
Yeah, I never called him that. You called him that, and then said I called him that. But everybody hates Gary because he tells the truth. Shout out Dixon. That's exactly right. That Dixon wears a robe of truth on that one. People hate the truth, especially females. They particularly can't handle the truth.
Beast writes in, wrong, Dixon. The Xboxer is backwards.
No, I'm forward. This is what a sober mind sounds like. Beast, whatever he's on, is what an intoxicated brain sounds like.
I don't Beast is sober.
I don't know what he's on, but no, I think he's on a lot of stuff. I don't think that's a sober minded person.
Gary, you don't know my powers, little fella. There's two differences between me and you. I got facts, you got fiction. And Ace Ventura once said, fiction can be fun. Before you thought about, professional
I did say that. Yeah, that's right.
Bonehead plays. You should learn a little bit more often from Ace Ventura and take some notes. Beat some squirrels. Go outside and give them some peanuts. And then don't jump around going,
I don't have any idea what you're talking. This isn't insulting to me at all. I don't even know if it's intended to be insulting. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, and for a big dude like me, I got big guns that are that can rip your little skinny head.
See, this is what big guys don't understand. You think
I
I'm
would
just
turn
going
your
to
head
stand
like a
in front of
cartoon
you?
in Tiny Toons and just go, what? Spin it
I'm
around
just
like a
going
wheel
to
and just
move
go.
and turn you because you can't move. So I'm just going to turn you. I'm not going to sit there and stand in front of you. I'm going to turn you 10 shots till you don't want to fight anymore, and then I'm just going to leave.
Well, hey, you're good for a wheel. All you gotta do is turn your head around like the wheel of fortune, and be like, here we go. And if we land down to 5,000, we always get those words going for a couple of points. But unfortunately, you're not qualified.
Shout out to Jake Quest on the less than Jake reference.
Can you guys hear me now?
I'm gonna say this. I might look twice as sexy as Chuck Woolery because especially when I do my we'll be right back. In 2 and 2.
I remember that. That was Love Connection. I remember that. I'm your age. I remember. I get the references. I get it. I get the references.
Let's see. Who remembers? Yeah, let's see if you remember Jim Perry. You remember Jim Perry?
I don't think so.
Sale of the century, 1985 to 1989. Who do you think hosted that show? Jim Perry. And who was his co-worker? Jay Stewart. Jay Stewart was his other guy. Jay Stewart also worked with Chuck Woolery as well. And who did also Charlie Tuna work with? The great Chuck Woolery.
Joe Douglas should have been fired 2 days before he was hired.
Tremendous job by Beast and Gary there. Those two on the screen, we need an Asmaniac Madness matchup. The Elite Eight or Final Four with those
Beast
two.
came in and said we had to beat the Squirrels and give them what? We're going to have to go back and Gator's going to have to break it down for us. I thought I heard something way different than what Beast was saying.
Unbelievable. More of your calls before we wrap here. Carlos the Barber's next. Hey, Los. Bye, Los. All right. Well, let's see if we could squeeze in a word here with our next guy on the line.
What do you guys' opinion on me doing a backflip through this orange wall?
Can you guys hear me?
Nope.
Dylan, let's talk about the Jets-Dolphins game. So here's my predictions. So I think the Jets are going to win. And the reason why I say this is because the Dolphins are not a good team at all. They barely beat really bad teams, and they can't play weather under 40 degrees. Tua's not a good quarterback. I think the Jets are going to win 24-20. What's your thoughts on that, Dylan?
I don't hate it. I think you're onto something with the weather portion with Tua. But like I said earlier in the show, I feel like if there's a stat that is historically in favor of the Jets, they will try to find a way to, have it work against them. So luckily we escaped bad history last weekend against the Falcons. Hopefully we can continue making, bad history for the Tua Tagovailoa-led Dolphins, because we need to beat Tua at least one time in his career as a Dolphin. This might be the last time we don't know what his future is in Miami, but we've never beaten the Dolphins when Tua starts and finishes a game.
I could agree with you on that because, we were 6-0 against Tua, but, the Tua is 6-0 against us, but, I think we got to beat him, And the weather's 35 degrees. Tua is horrible in 35-degree weather. And Tua's not even been that good this season, honestly. He's been horrible.
Yeah, he leads the league in interceptions with 14.
And then Geno Smith is second behind him.
Yeah, Geno. Oh, he looks rough,
He is rough, bro.
So yeah. I mean, there's definitely a chance. And can the Jets get their first turnover? Maybe they actually force an interception and we're all happy. So I'm with you on that one. I don't have the faith that the Jets will actually win it. So, but they should keep it close,
Is Sean still on the show? Or as you call it, Elton John? Because I have a good song for him to sing, Philadelphia Freedom.
Well, I called him Elton Sean.
Elton Sean. Tell Sean. Oh man, that's a good one, Elton John. You gotta put some Philadelphia Freedom on. That's good.
Hey, sing us some Elton Sean, Mad Max.
Elton John. I can put some Philadelphia Freedom on. Philadelphia Freedom. Oh, Philadelphia Freedom. Shine you. I love it. Shine the light. But I can put some Billy Joel on. Moving that is so good.
Hey, give us some William Joel.
Billy Joel, moving that. Oh, Jake, should you put some moving that on?
I can't put it on. That is against YouTube policy.
Oh, that's horrible.
I don't own the rights to it, but give me some Billy Joel immediately.
Oh man, put some moving that on. Moving the hack and sack. As I work out your money, as seems a waste of time. If that's what it's all about, mama, put your and moving that.
Honestly, brilliant performance.
If Mad Max ain't yapping about Jets, that boy, he's jamming, he's standing, freaking dancing, wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman. He got an orange wall.
I'm trying to figure out my Instacart here.
You on the phone with USPS?
No, doing some Instacart stuff here. They sent me some stuff. They sent me something. I'm just thinking, I don't know. No interest.
Ho, 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 big cho.
It is the holiday season. Who's ready for a little cho and chill? Gator says, I think Big Cho might need an intro.
Big Cho.
Yeah, it's nice. I like my recliner. No, I just called to check in.
Big Cho.
I don't like all those wrinkles on my head. I don't have that many wrinkles.
We're talking about Big Cho.
My implants are coming in 3 months.
The Kardashian ones?
I put the jet gear on for you. Been running some errands early. Came home just chilling.
Big Cho.
Jake.
Joe.
What's going on?
We're talking about Big Cho.
How you doing?
I'm chilling.
Oh, yeah. I just had my first follow-up appointment with the PA today on the surgical team. Said I was healing up pretty good.
Big Cho.
Hell yeah, Big Cho.
So I'm going to be out until like mid-January.
We're talking about Big Cho.
So what's going on? Big Joe! What's going on with you, Jake?
Yeah, just a little chilling.
We're talking about Big Cho.
I think we should draft a quarterback next draft coming up. Big Joe!
Who do you want, Big Cho?
I don't know. I just don't think we can go into the season with the quarterbacks that we have. I mean, you already said people don't come to the game.
Jets, Jets. Didn't you say that?
Maybe.
I mean, didn't you have trouble giving my tickets away? And they're for free.
It was tough. Mad Max did take them though.
Yeah, I hadn't heard nothing from him.
He was just on.
Again, I hadn't heard nothing from him.
Hey, Mad Max, call in and thank Big Cho. Now, he did thank you in a previous call, Big Cho. I don't know if you were watching.
I wasn't.
Big Cho.
Are you offended?
No.
Sounds like you are.
Nah, I'm just chilling, man. Big Cho! Why you have such a hard time giving away the tickets?
All right, it was a tough sell. Nasty weather, Jets, Falcons.
I was going to do it again this week, but since you had so much trouble, I decided not to.
Big Cho.
This week, I actually know more people going because it is the Dolphins.
Okay. Any other underprivileged people that need tickets?
Jay Quest and Nate.
Who?
Nate. He rides his bike a lot.
Uh-huh.
Jay Quest.
Right.
He prank calls people.
Oh. Great.
Big Cho.
Is Dylan still on with you?
I'm chilling.
What's up? What you can't see your what's up with your camera?
What's up with my camera? I got it fixed. We're all good. I'm just chilling.
Oh, I see you.
There you go.
I didn't see you before. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to hear you're doing all right after your surgery.
Big Cho.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Make sure you get a lot of chilling in before you go back to work in January.
Oh, I will. I'm just glad this nerve pain's gone. That was no fun.
We're talking about Big Cho.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Hey, let me bring on my nerve pain expert.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Mr. Cho, how are you doing? You feeling good?
Hey, Beast, how you doing, sir?
How's the back?
A lot better than it was.
There you go. Hey, don't ask. I'm just giving the little boy his little actions. He likes to do things his own way. And don't mind. We all call him Superman. It's Superman, and Superman is here to fight, and his tag team partner in crime. Woo! 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 Batman. Oh.
He's one of a kind.
Do you think Beast needed his mom's his secretary's permission to have a guinea pig in the attic?
I don't know. He's a grown man. Can't he do what he wants?
Hey, Jay Quest says, I sat near Cho at the game and he forgot me. Go Cho yourself.
Do what now? My short-term memory is really bad, man, from cancer. So they can't really say that much. I just have a really bad short-term memory. It's bad.
Yeah, Jay Quest, you asshole.
I used to be sharp, but with this chemo and stuff that I had years ago, screwed me up pretty bad. My short-term memory is really bad.
Big Cho.
Long-term memory is not too bad. But
He says he takes it back.
Huh?
He says he takes it back.
Okay, no problem. I got you. I don't remember everybody. Big Joe! I apologize in advance that I don't remember everyone. Doesn't mean I have much love for you, though. I still got love for you.
Nate says, Cho, I'm the guy that came up to your chair and offered you shrooms and liquor in a bag.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Is it because you drank the bag?
Right now, I'm not in alcohol and drugs and stuff. I can't do that stuff with my job, and I never Never was into it anyway.
Big Joe.
I hear that.
Because we can get randomly drug test.
Hmm.
When was the last time you peed in a cup, Big Joe?
It's been a while.
I don't even know if you would you fail a test for psilocybin? I don't know. That's probably a question for Nate to answer in the chat. But I don't even know if they'd make you fail a drug test if you ate some shrooms.
I don't know. Would you fail a test?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
What's that supposed to give you, like hallucinations and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah. Psilocybin, it gives you hallucinations and other euphoric feelings, I guess.
Big Joe! Like seeing pink elephants flying around the room and shit?
Perhaps, yeah.
Nice. I'll pass.
As long as you're passing them to me, that's cool.
I got you. What you think about the sweatshirt, Jake?
I think you look great, Big Joe.
I had to represent and have the Jet gear on when I went out to the doctor's office today.
They know you're a resilient man if you're a Jet fan.
Yeah, they do know that.
Big Joe.
Gotta love the Jets, man.
You think they beat Miami this week?
Yeah, I think so.
We're talking about Big Joe.
What about you? You don't think so? I think I heard you earlier say no.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins ultimately win, but I do think the Jets keep it close, and it comes down to whoever gets the ball last. Kind of like the Falcons game did, but the Jets were on the right side of it. I think Miami kicks like a last-second field goal or scores at the end of the game, and that's how they win.
Oh, I hope not.
We have a chance, though. And that's all I care about. We have a chance, and I expect to be in it in the fourth quarter. If we're down 2 scores in this, late third quarter, early fourth quarter, I'm not going to like it.
No, you want your team to be competitive.
Yes.
That's all you ask for. You need your team to be competitive.
Yep. No chilling out on that field. They gotta be ready to fight.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, Big Joe, can we get a Jet chant from you now that you're on your road to recovery?
A Jet chant? I don't want to stretch out my scar, man.
Does it stretch out your scar by chanting JETS, 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 Jets?
Yeah, using all the muscles in your body. How about a soft one? JETS, 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 Jets.
Well, let me compare it to the other one.
JETS, 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 Jets.
Did that cause you great pain?
Nah, but I wasn't cut open. I'm still cut open.
So a soft Jet chant you're able to do, though.
Yeah, like I did the soft one. I still have to have my bandage covered until like the 15th of January till I see him again. Because I still have drainage and all that nasty stuff.
I see. Well, I'll tell you what. The first time that you could do a big Jet chant, you let us know. We'll put you on immediately. All right, Big Joe?
I got you, Jay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Big Joe.
JETS, 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 Jets.
Now that's a man's man right there, Big Joe. Love it. Love it. Hey, can I shout out Dre and Mother Effin' Chew? They gifted memberships a little while ago, but we got caught up with the madness that was all the call.
Ho, 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 Big Cho, Cho, Cho.
Dre's in our raffle for 5. This is your last chance. We have the closer coming up on the show shortly. Mother Effin' Chew is in the Asmaniac raffle for 1. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to our last call pre-raffle. Raven is next. Hello, Raven.
Hey, Jake. I wanted to start out and just say I have a lot of opinions on some of the things we've talked about today. First off, barbecue chicken pizza is elite.
Yes.
2, the only pizza that matters is New York pizza, unless like you're going to Italy. I've been to Italy and the pizza's like, it's just different, but that's a different conversation. And 3, these are all the non-Jets ones. Shrooms are great.
Was that you in the chat that said shrooms were great? Yes. 3 for 3. Shrooms on your barbecue chicken pizza? Okay.
Okay.
Weekend Kickstarter.
The thing is, though, like you shouldn't. It's something that you got to do while you're doing something. Like I'm
Yes.
not about to just like sit here and like just be like a freaking potato on shrooms. That's how like you get in your head. That's how you have a bad trip. Like you got to be doing something, even if you're
Yes.
just like walking around in nature. Me more
100%.
so it's when I go to concerts, such as I said in the chat. One time I was at a Dead and Company concert and I literally hallucinated the Night King and an army of White Walkers from Game of Thrones, but like not in a bad way. It was like in a good way, in a way that's like,
Oh, yeah.
this is awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. But in any event, in terms of the Jets, this is something that I don't think we talk about enough is Steve Wilkes has got to go. No,
Yeah.
I'm like for real. I feel like the most successful Jets teams throughout all of our history have had an elite defense. It always starts with a defense. And I know like in the modern league, you know, we've seen more success drafting deep offense over defense or just kind of following that Eagles blueprint of little defense than mostly offense. But I'm not saying in terms of that. I'm just saying that as an organization, we're like, again, a lot of our best teams are predicated on having a strong defense. And we simply don't have that. And it's pathetic. And I knew, and let me tell you, I knew it was going to be pathetic the minute we hired him. That man is Mr. One and done. He's like the fucking Ryan Fitzpatrick of coaching, for God's sake. And he rides like the coattails of that one stint. It was with Carolina, right? Where they like had a good defense. Like, what? Like, no, he's got to go. We need somebody that's more dominant. And like, it just, the fact that we have no forced turnovers is just unacceptable. Unacceptable, even though, yeah, our team sucks, but no, unacceptable. Despite that, though, it feels like the vibes are a lot better.
Despite that big thing that's got to absolutely go. I'm with you, though. Steve Wilkes has not really impressed me, and I mean, his resume was like, yes, to take a veteran guy to pair with your rookie head coach to give him some sounding board experience as a former head coach, sure, but it got stale so quickly, and then the performance on the field, it's getting better in some areas, but I don't necessarily say that's because of Steve Wilkes coaching. So I'm fully on board with you, and I think that they'll have at least probably should have one coordinator change and keep Tanner Engstrand the offensive coordinator because he's done a good job.
I completely agree with that, and I will. It's important to give credence to the fact that like we don't even necessarily have those players for sure, but I just feel like, and you're right, it is getting better. I just feel like there's no part of our defense that I can definitively say is dominant the way that I and probably even Aaron Glenn being a defensive coach would want to see.
Supposed to be takeaways, Raven. Like that was a big thing in Detroit. Like they were one of the best units forcing turnovers, and they've been historically bad this year at that. Which is they don't have a pick yet. And their former head coach, had 40 career picks as a player, and Wilkes has been around forever. And the secondary was supposed to be a strength. So I'm with you on Wilkes. I do think they will make a change, barring a drastic turnaround these final five.
Yeah, and also I do want to say I understood the logic too, but the resume doesn't show you that he can be that like sound experienced sounding board. Yeah, he's like been doing this for years, but again, he's basically a journeyman. He goes somewhere different every year. That like your resume doesn't mean shit if you're not consistent.
Yeah, that's fair. I wish we could point to one thing that Wilkes directly helped AG with in the coaching process of like maybe his first few months on the job or whatever it is, administrative work even. Like I just wish there was some like tangible evidence that we could see from Wilkes that like yeah, your performance on the field and your players aren't performing well in your scheme, but like, what did you do to help AG? Because that was the part that I thought was the best part of the hire. So for those reasons, I mean, I'm out on Wilkes. So yeah, get a younger guy in here who's going to be more aggressive with the talent we have. And like you said it earlier in your point, you have to become an offensive minded team. This is no longer a defensive first mentality. And I think trading Sauce and Quinnen and now trying to go get your quarterback show that they're going to make that shift.
Yeah, and with you what you just said now, I think that young is one of the biggest things, because even in just like listening to you, listening to Jake, everything, and just forming my opinion, like I'm not sure, is it just like a straight up bad scheme and that's just like completely lackluster, or is it that it's out of touch and it's not current?
Yeah, I want to see AG tell the media with like 3 games to go or 4 games to go that he takes over the play calling for Steve Wilkes, just so we can evaluate him as a play caller and see what his defense would look like over the last month of the season. And maybe there are some things that could change, compared to Wilkes. So I want to see some kind of change from this defense. If it's not in season, immediately following the season for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And another big thing is, I think that's also really important that we have to see a functional defense the same way we had to see a functional offense with Tyrod Taylor to actually assess, like, okay, what do we actually have in the room?
Yeah. And we weren't getting that with Fields. So we had to make the pivot to Taylor. And now we have some glimpses, right? We could have potentially 4 average to above average pass catchers for the next quarterback without adding any pass catchers to the room. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see what happens. But I think it's definitely trending in the right direction for the offense.
I agree. Except I'd love to see Justin Fields kind of become like a Swiss Army knife wildcat like Taysom Hill. It's probably not going to happen, but I saw somebody.
Soft tissue injury. Can't do it. Can't. He's too concerned about it.
True.
By the way, Raven,
the first word, soft.
Raven, you got to update your background for this week when you call in. I mean, we got the rivalry jersey theme going Sunday.
You're right. I didn't think of that. I just use this background because I have nothing on the wall behind me. So I figure, don't want to look like I'm in like a freaking like mental hospital, just like white walls.
We've all been there. It's
you know what I mean? No,
blink twice if you need help.
it's not even that. It's just more so the spot that I'm always sitting at. It's just like the one place that I don't have like a poster. So I'm like,
looks great.
Nope.
You know what you need? You need a nice Jake Asman flag from the merch store to hang up.
Ooh.
True. And it is Hanukkah coming up, so maybe I'll ask my parents.
That's right. Get the Hanukkah bush out, ready to go.
Man, I wish sometimes even though we're not supposed to do that, sometimes I'm like, would be kind of cool though. But
Raven, great call. Call in more. I love your calls. They're always entertaining.
Oh, thank you. I will.
Ladies and gentlemen, Raven checking in. All right, before we get to the raffle, a couple things we got to address. First things first, the Chuck Wagon gifting the community a 10 spot of channel membership.
Show me the money.
Show me the money!
Money.
Yeah. J Penn, Sean Stewart, Justin K1, Wild Chew, Dennis Garcia, Stephen NYC, Mickey Rosa, Dem95, Mellow 1099, and Jules Harlem all receiving a membership there from the Chuck Wagon. Also, got a super chat from Nick Shine. Jake's neighbors here. Quote, that man is Mr. One and Done. Now, in honor of that, for those who missed the beginning of the show, rewatch and you'll get these references. Boomtown put together a list of things my neighbors might have heard me say during this podcast. Item 1, hey, Lou, how wild are you getting in Miami tonight? 2, where's all this money coming from? 3, Charles has been doing some male exotic dancing on the side. 4, how much for a lap dance? 5, are you working at a sperm bank? 6, suck it, Nate. 7, if you want to talk to Mad Max, I can make it happen. He's going to overpower you, and he's going to dominate you, the likes of which you have never been dominated before.
That was a good one.
Point 8. Let me bring on my poop expert. Point 9. Are you trying to say your shits are so powerful they go through your toilet bowl when the seat is down? Point 10. I feel like I'm doing a Neil recap call here. Pizza in Texas is dog shit. Rob on a Boomtown for logging all that. We might need to make that a bit, Boom. Funny. Just quotes of the show. I know Nick Shine does the things we learned. We might need to do like
things heard in Jake's hallway.
Most memorable quotes of the show or something like that. Because that quotes of the week, even if that's easier for you, Boom. Whatever's less work for you to track.
Dominating Gorman.
Whatever's less work for you to do, Boom. Because I don't want to put more on your plate. You have a real job, but he's the best at tracking this. Oh my God. All right. I think we're just about ready for an Asmaniac raffle. I have compiled the list of names, but I need to bring in my my Bruce Buffer, if you will. DT, are you ready for this?
It's time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is in fact time. And to get the raffle started, we first introduce this man to get it rolling.
You tell me how crazy I am. I just took 4 chair headshots.
They're calling you Bruce Fluffer.
No. It's Michael Buffer. Are we ready? Wrestling fans, are you ready? Then there's only one thing left to say. Let's spin the wheel of champions!
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
I'm still laughing at Bruce Fluffer.
That shit was so good. Addison on top of it, man.
Addison, well done. That was tremendous. All right, let's spin this wheel, baby. If you're entered, you got a chance to win. If you win, you got to let me know the player you want, the rivalry jersey in, the size, obviously your name and address as well. All right. Good luck to all. Your winner is...
It's got to be Chuckwagon.
Can Chuckwagon do it? Or is it going to be Dre Correa? It is Dre Correa. Hey, he's going to die, Dre.
Who want to fly with them?
Let's go. Let's go. Congrats to one of the OGs of this channel, Dre, who usually would call in from an office, and now he works remote, so he's all over the place. Dre, you're the man. I already have your address, but just shoot me an email with your size again and who you want the jersey to be in, and I will get that order for you this week. DT, plug your channel before we get out of here.
Yes, sir. Dylan Tereman on YouTube, just as you see it on your screen. We have 3 different shows that we're trying to do. We have the Dylan Tereman Football Show, which is like the flagship, pre-recorded or live. I haven't gone live in a couple weeks, but the pre-recorded stuff, it's all under that umbrella. We also have the Believe in Jets, which is the audio-only version of that, which is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, anywhere you get your podcasts. And then we have 2 new episodes of a series draft-related called Draft Talk with DT. DT with DT. We have 2 episodes of that in the hopper.
Which one do you do on shrooms, by the way? Have you done that one yet?
Just about every single one of them, Jake. That's why they're all very colorful presentations. It's not for you guys to look at home. The colorful stuff is for me to look at while I'm presenting it. So, yeah, Draft Talk with DT. I have early quarterback rankings 1.0. I do my top 5, and then I did my top 50 wish list. So with the top 4 picks of the draft, where do I want them to, what positions do I want them to attack? I talked about maybe 6 or 7 names at each of the positions that I want them to attack. So Draft Talk with DT, the Dylan Tereman Football Show, Believe in Jets. You can find me on any of those, all at Dylan Tereman on YouTube.
DT, job well done. Job well done, as he's rocking that Asmaniac hat, which everyone can get the same hat if you go to jakeasman.com and click on the merch store tab, baby. All right. Enjoy the game tonight. It is a great one. You got to pick on the way out. I like the Lions here. They're at home. I know Dallas has played great, but Detroit off a loss. I'm still going to bank on that and how good they've been under Campbell since 2022, coming off a loss here. So I do like the Lions. It's 3 or 3.5, depending on where you look. FanDuel has a 3.5 right now. DT, real quick, give us a pick. Cowboys, Lions tonight, Thursday Night Football.
I got the Lions. They're trending down. The Cowboys are trending up, but I do think at home, short week, the Lions bounce back. Have a couple key injuries, but they do get some players back. Penei Sewell, most notable of all those. So they definitely have the opportunity to win, and I want Dallas to lose because that helps the Jets. So I'm going to go Detroit Lions. And Raven, to whatever you set up there, yes, absolutely, we can do it.
Hell yeah. All right. That does it for today's show. For Dylan Tereman, my name is Jake Asman saying thanks for watching. Go Jets, and we will talk to you soon.
Yeah, I'm a tough son of a bitch. I've been through it all. I mean, I've been hit by a bus, still got back up.
You've been hit by a bus. Let's start. What type of bus? Short bus?
Public transit. The guy was an asshole, so yeah, I already took care of it. Don't worry about it.
So what happened after he hit you?
It got physical, so I don't want to talk about it.
You beat up the bus driver?
But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about that.
Wait, hold on. And then the second thing is you said you survived an ear infection?
3 times.
Wow.
2005, 2015, 2016. Survived.
Hold on. This is a huge accomplishment. You're a 3-time ear infection survivor?
No, that don't count.
What do you mean they don't count?
That's the past. This is the future. The future is...
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go Jets.